From the Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio, the Cleveland Cavaliers host the Atlanta Hawks.
The NBA on CBS. Today's show is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. All the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. And by Alcoa, the producer of energy-saving aluminum.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mindy Rudolph, and I'd like to welcome the newest member of our CBS sportscasting team, Jimmy Carvelis.
Oh, Manny, thank you very much. I think we're going to have a good ball game today. Two contrasting styles of basketball, and it should be very interesting.
You're right, Jim. Atlanta will run and gun. They'll shoot them up. Cleveland, we know, a playmaking team. They'll set their patterns and do a lot of perimeter shooting.
All right, game is underway. Atlanta will be in the red uniforms. Cleveland with the opening tip in the yellow uniforms. We'll give you the lineups as we go along. That's Footsie Walker, number 14. He's on the back line with Dick Snyder with the ball now. Underneath, and Campanella Russell lost the ball in the bounds. Cleveland up front will go with Jimmy Jones at forward. Elmore Smith in the middle, along with Campy Russell at the other forward. Atlanta going with John Brown at forward, Johnny Drew at forward. In the middle, Steve Hawes, the back line of Armin Hill and Eddie Johnson.
That's a new lineup out there for Coach Bill Fish of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jimmy. Jimmy Jones, as we all know, is playing center. He's got him at the power forward now, and it's a brand new role for Jimmy. I spoke to him before the game. He's not totally comfortable with it yet, but he's got a lot of confidence. Elmore Smith behind him.
All right, here's Elmore Smith, and Atlanta with the basketball. Armin Hill, he's played great in the last couple of games for Atlanta. No score yet. Long release. Campy Russell. He can do it. That was Johnny Drew with the rebound. Here come the Hawks on the attack. Armin Hill a miss. Campy Russell. Belongs to Cleveland. No score in the ball game. 10:53 to play in the first quarter. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks, two clubs that have been playing very well of late. Jimmy Jones playing at power forward. Brown is on him. Still no score. Armin Hill. Johnny Drew did a great job that time, I think, keeping the ball in play.
Okay, Jimmy.
Hawes on top. They'll bring their big men on top. Atlanta will. Then they look for Drew inside. Snyder. Foul. Eddie Johnson got him.
Still no field goal. The one-out free throws coming up. That ball's a little slippery right now, Jimmy, like the weather outside, a little icy.
Now we've gone a minute 42, and Dick Snyder will try to score the game's first point. A little surprising, Manny, that Snyder's starting in place of Walt Frazier.
They had a practice called yesterday. They had 10 inches of snow on Friday. Walt Frazier did not make the practice. Bill Fitch was rather unhappy with that. And in speaking with him before the game, we learned that it was possible that Frazier would not start.
There we go, the game's first point. Took a minute 42. And the Cavaliers on top 1-0. That's Johnson on the right side. Inside, Armin Hill. Great pass, Drew. Johnny Drew in the game's first field goal, and the Hawks lead 2-1. The Hawks won last night. They beat the Indiana Pacers by 11 in Atlanta. Watch Footsie Walker. Jones lost it off his foot. The referee down there is Tommy Nunez. Lee Jones is the other official. Armand Hill, great player from Princeton. Hawes from 15. And the Hawks have gone up 4-1.
Oh, Smith got burned that time. Tried to overplay the pass. Steve Hawes blew it. Went to the hoop with a jump shot.
Campy Russell. And that's the first field goal for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's 4-3.
And it came on the perimeter. Again, Cleveland not driving to the hoop as they've done in the past, relying a lot on their outside shooting.
There's Armand Hill. Drew inside for Hawes. Over Elmore Smith, and they get it again. Steve Hawes.
That's twice, Jim, and what's going to happen, of course, Elmore Smith is going to have to come out and pick him up a lot higher and stop playing back in that zone area.
And they'd love to get Elmore Smith outside, too. Atlanta would, to keep him out from under the boards. As Jones, Snyder, Elmore Smith, nice hook shot. Elmore Smith. Opening moments of the game, 8:38 to play in the first quarter here in Cleveland. Cavaliers and the Hawks. Armand Hill. Hawes. There's the Elmore Smith block this time. Nice save by Johnson into Hawes. Looking for John Brown inside. Hawes goes, the whistle before the shot. 24-second violation. Good defense, Mendy, by Cleveland that time.
The Hawks were unaware that the clock didn't reset, and in so doing ran off the violations.
All right, Scooby Brown out of yelling some instructions. Armand Hill drew the foul. Hawks leading 6-5. Dick Snyder looking for a screen. Jones gave him one. Now he goes back to Jones. He'll take it. John Brown with the basketball. Here come the Hawks with Armand Hill. They lead 6-5, 7:54 to play in the first quarter. There's a foul underneath, away from the ball. I believe he was holding John Drew. Campy Russell was holding John Drew, and Mendy Drew is just so hard to handle because he moves without the ball. You got to slow him up.
You got to stay on top of him because he's a great jumper, a great leaper, and he gets through. Look at this shot.
Woo! Eddie Johnson, a great move. He beat Snyder with a great first step. And now the Hawks have gone up 8-5. And the Hawks, although they played, this is their 5th game in 6 days, Mendy, they have really come out here and they lead 8-5. The Hawks over the Cavaliers here in Richfield, Ohio.
See what's new today.
Introducing the 3rd generation Monte Carlo. The 3rd generation of a highly successful personal luxury car. Its highly original styling opens new dimensions in affordable luxury and in comfort. With more rear seat headroom, legroom, and hip room than last year's Monte Carlo. The 3rd generation Monte Carlo. Drive it and put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
Up here, the wind can turn an entire ski slope into one big snowdrift. But you've got the horsepower and the know-how to take the mountain away from the storm and give it back to the skiers. And now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Following the game, CBS Sports presents live the Grand Slam of Tennis. That's Following the Game.
The Atlanta Hawks over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 8-5 here at Richfield, Ohio. Jim Carvelis together with Mendy Rudolph. Mendy, this Atlanta Hawk club, really a surprising club. Not many people expected this team to win 21 games at this point in the season. Here come the Cavaliers now. They've got Jones out at forward. That's Campy Russell. Now he's into Jones. A little lower this time. Jones, as you see, missing the shot. Elmore Smith, a good effort. Elmore Smith, his second field goal, and now the Hawks' lead is only one.
Elmore Smith was blocked out by 3 Atlanta Hawks. He jumped over everybody with a tremendous reach, Jimmy, and took the rebound.
Oz inside to John Drew. This is what they like to do, and that's why they like to do it, because Mr. Drew is a tough one-on-one player. It's 10-7 Atlanta. Mendy.
And Campy Russell's going to have some help in there because he's an awful tough player, John Drew that is, to play one-on-one. They're going to have to double team him.
Drew playing Campy on the other end, and the basket will go. The basket is good, and the foul's going to be on John Brown. Again, Brown switching off to pick up Drew, who got away from Campy Russell.
So we take a look now. Campy Russell will throw the pick against John Drew, and John Brown will come in picking up. You look at the perfect pick and roll at that point. Got hit on the arm. Chance for the three-point play.
And a chance to tie, and there she is. 10-10 basketball game. Atlanta Hawks in red, if you're just tuning in. The Cleveland Cavaliers, a homestanding club in their gold uniforms. 6:50 to play in this, the first quarter. Snyder with Eddie Johnson, who's quick. Good play by Snyder. Good defensive play. Quincy Walker pushing it forward. Cleveland would like to run more. Snyder from 20. Dick Snyder, and the Cavaliers lead 12-10. 6:28 to play first quarter. Armand Hill. John Brown on top. Johnson. John Drew forced that shot up. Campanella Russell, a long release. Snyder saves it, and now they say he went over the line.
Just snipped that line. On that last play down there on the Atlanta end, Dick Snyder did a good job of double-teaming John Drew, which is what I said earlier. They're going to have to double-team him to give Campy Russell some help. He blocked the shot. John Drew, of course, missed it.
12-10, the Cavaliers lead. The Hawks with a chance to tie. Eddie Johnson. Brown. Deflected out, I believe, by Dick Snyder. They ought to give the ball to Atlanta.
And they give it. Right.
Eddie Johnson. Looking inside for Hill. He wasn't expecting the pass. Here comes Footsy. 4-on-2. Brown. Atlanta wants to run. Eddie Johnson. John Drew. Lost the handle. Elmore. Jones. Campy Russell. John Brown again.
Good reason why Cleveland really can't run that well, Jim. You had Campy Russell down there with Jimmy Jones, 2-on-2. They just don't have the speed to go to the hoop and get to the layup. That's why Bill Fitch says if you don't have the run, bring it on back and let's work the perimeter. That was a perfect example of the lack of speed on the Cleveland club.
So Eddie Johnson tied the game up at 12. Now we have a whistle, and the foul is going to be called against Armand Hill, fouling Quincy Walker. Second on Hill and 4 on the team. So Atlanta close, dangerously close to the penalty situation. We still have 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Tough shot. Got it down. Jimmy Jones. Mendy, big change in this Cleveland club. The last 2 games, they moved Jones out of the middle to the forward in place of Brewer, with Elmore Smith in the middle, hoping that they can get some more shooting out there, and that time they got it. They also get some defense from Elmore. Elmore's given him some board work, too. Elmore Smith has been sensational, Mendy, early in the game.
He's been powerful on both boards.
Snyder, bullseye.
Hubie Brown doesn't like what's happening. I'm sure he's going to call a timeout out here.
You're exactly right, Mendy. They're on their feet here in Richfield, Ohio, as the Cavaliers have taken a 4-point lead here.
And there's that great block that we're looking at with Elmore Smith. He loves to block shots. He'd rather do that than anything else on the basketball court.
Alcoa can't wait. We must transmit the power to our homes and factories. We gotta make the highway sing for folks like you and me. Our cars should be lighter for the most from every mile. We must clean up, recycle, and make the whole world smile. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
We are helping our community, and all communities by recycling junked automobiles in our melting process instead of bringing in virgin iron. 6,000 cars a month is what we recycle here.
Ann Pribble, Founder Line Supervisor. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We make quality castings, car parts, GM parts. We can remelt scrap pieces and still get the quality that we're after. Quality to me is what we're here for. It's important that we run quality castings here. It's a must. If you're really interested in staying here, you cannot do enough for the place. That's the way I feel. The people have so much pride. General Motors has been good to them too.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
Next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents the second annual Hollywood Stunt Competition, with 8 of Hollywood's finest stuntmen competing. That's next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
From Richfield, Ohio, Jim Carvelis together with Mendy Rudolph, the Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We talked at the top about what a great matchup this was going to be. Speaking of great matchups, how about Bjorn Borg and Jimmy Connors live from Boca Raton, Florida? Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert right after this basketball game.
Well, I saw that match a couple of weeks ago, Jim, and I'll tell you, those two guys can play tennis. They can really play it, and it's really a great thing to watch. Jimmy Connors always on the attack, Bjorn Borg returning. I don't know how they do it sometimes.
You know, they may be the great matchup in sports today. Before we had Frazier and Ali in boxing, it may be Connors and Borg now in tennis. Right, the Hawks trail by 4, 16-12, 4:17 to play in the first quarter. If they try to do something different here. Armand Hill. Tough shot by Hill. Good rebound. John Brown, good block. Eddie Johnson. Elmore Smith again.
Boy, and he is making his presence known right now. Rebounding and shot blocking. Beautiful.
Campy Russell, Footsy Walker, the Cavaliers alive now. They beat the Philadelphia 76ers Thursday night, and they feel they're getting ready to come on. There's a good play by Brown inside. Now a foul as Jones was inside.
John Brown that time overplayed Jimmy Jones. He tried to pick up help on the weak side. He didn't get it. Jones turned to the hoop and went up for the field goal and fouled in the try.
We're in the penalty situation now. 3 to make 2 for Jimmy Jones. Collegiately at Marquette, native of Racine, Wisconsin. Jimmy Jones makes it 17-12. Now he'll get the penalty shot. 3:45 to play first quarter here in Cleveland. 17-12. The Cavs by 5 over the Hawks. Jones makes it 18-12. The Cavs by half a dozen. Armand Hill. Atlanta will play a lot of people before this one's over, probably 10 players. They've gone with the same 5 for the first 8.5 minutes of the game. Brown, so John Brown makes it 18-14. John Brown broke his nose last night for the 15th time, Mendy.
And Wednesday night, he broke it for the 14th time. So in 3 nights, he has had his nose broken twice.
And no face mask. Campanella Russell. What a move by Campy. Campy has 7 points now. Campy Russell. And it's 2014. The Cavs by half a dozen again.
He got 1 step, and it was bye-bye, baby.
Johnny Drew talking about doing it. He can do it. Johnny Drew makes it 20-16. The Cavaliers by 4. Footsy Walker played his college ball in the state of Georgia. Here's Campy. Armand Hill. Great player at Princeton. Brown had the open shot. The big men are staying outside, Mendy, and they're going to take that shot if they give it to him.
There's no way Atlanta can win that way, though, Jim. They're not an outside shooting team, as is Cleveland, as we just saw, and Atlanta doesn't penetrate and get to the hoop with the short jumpers or the layups. They're going to get whipped.
Jimmy Jones now has 8 points, and the Cavaliers go up by 6 again. 22-16, 2:07 to play first quarter. So they'll give him that shot. Eddie Johnson. Atlanta taking a lot of tough shots here. Here's Cleveland running. Can't be Russell. Blew it. You have to really compliment the Cleveland defense. As we say that, backdoor running free, Mr. Drew.
That's exactly what they need. Down inside, hitting to the hoop, moving without the ball, and get the shots up close.
The Cavs by 4. Quincy Walker. What a tough shot by Walker. John Brown the rebound. Armand Hill almost traveled to the basketball. Wide open is Johnson. Eddie Johnson. He's looking pretty good for a rookie. The rookie from Auburn, and it's 22-20 now. The Hawks are within 2. And Mr. Johnson has 6 points. Tree Rollins is on the bench. You'll see him for the Atlanta Hawks before it's over. He's a second cousin to Eddie Johnson, so it's a family affair here in Atlanta. Speaking of Mr. Johnson, here he comes. Atlanta, chance to tie, whistle blows. He was fouled before the shot. Now we got some substitutions, man.
We've got wholesale substitutions. We have 4 new players on the court coming in for Atlanta, which we'll try to identify for you.
All right, I see Tom McMillan out there. Tree Rollins is in there. Ollie Johnson is in there.
And the oldest rookie in the league right now, Jim.
Charlie Chris,
number 14. Watch him go with the ball and without the ball. He'll light him up for it.
They leave Eddie Johnson in the game. He's the only starter remaining. Tommy McMillan. And Elmore Smith with another rebound. With 42 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Hawks trailing the Cavaliers by 2. Walt Frazier in the game now, number 11. Elmore Smith. What a game Elmore Smith is having. And it's 24-20, the Cavaliers by 4. We have 25 seconds to play in the first quarter. Let's watch Mr. Chris now. He's 5'8". And he is quick. Austin Carr is in there for the Cavaliers, number 34. Eddie Johnson. Good rebound by Jimmy Jones.
Cleveland's going to have to hustle. They only got 8 seconds left.
Frazier will get a good shot from Austin Carr. Tree Rollins, the length of the court. And that is the end of the first quarter here in Richfield, Ohio. A good first quarter with the Cavaliers leading the Atlanta Hawks 24-20.
Introducing the Kellys. From Fayetteville, North Carolina, the Kelly Passenger Radio. From Cumberland, Maryland, the Kelly Truck Tire. From Tyler, Texas, the Kelly RV Tire. From Freeport, Illinois, the Kelly Farm Tractor Tire. From Cumberland, Maryland, the low-cost 4-ply tire.
For whatever driving you're doing, the Kellys have a tire for you. The Kellys. What a lineup.
Tough throughout the line. We're good and tough. We're the Kellys. Rolling. See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
To the more than 600,000 people who bought the new Chevrolet during its very first year, thank you. You've made it the most popular car in America. For the rest of you, a simple reminder. With its advanced design, the new Chevrolet has more headroom, more rear seat legroom, more trunk room, and more. So drive it. The new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it.
Control is very important in the game of basketball. And control is vital in the game of life, especially when you're dealing with high blood pressure. Right now, I'm having my blood pressure checked. That's the only way to tell if it's high. If it is high, I'll follow my doctor's advice to control it.
It's normal, Tom.
Good. For more information, ask your American Heart Association. I'm Tom Borwinkle. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
An announcement from the American Heart Association in cooperation with the NBA.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association.
And in that first quarter, Jim, what we saw was what we thought we'd see at the start of the game. Cleveland running their patterns and doing a lot of outside shooting, a lot of perimeter shooting. And Atlanta, when they were successful in scoring, went down low. In the beginning of the quarter, they brought their big man outside, were taking bad selection of shots, missing those shots, and Elmore Smith was so dominant on both ends of the court, defensive as well as offense, that Hubie Brown called a timeout, got back to their offensive pattern, ran the ball, got it down low to John Drew, and they came within 4. We'll see what takes place in the second quarter.
All right, we'll set up the players as we go along now in the second quarter. Here's Mr. Chris with the basketball. He'll make things happen. Tommy McMillan out top. McMillan. Here's Chris. He'll try to get some penetration. Trying to get a pick from Tree Rollins. Now back to the tree on the give and go, and Rollins and Mr. Smith has the ball. Elmore Smith and Bingo Smith is now in the game. You talk about great shooters. Don't give him any room. There's Ollie Johnson playing him pretty tough, though. Ollie Johnson. Austin Carr, Elmore Smith with Tree Rollins. A couple of guys that can block shots. Bingo Smith had it stolen, knocked away, and out of bounds off Bingo Smith. Hands going to three, looked like a good call from here.
I think it was a good call, Jim. Went right off his foot. No complaint.
Claude Terry made the play, number 12. It's 24-20, the Cavaliers by 4. Here's Chris. He's traveling with a basketball. Now, in the first quarter, we saw John Brown with that open 18-foot shot that they were giving him. They won't give the same shot to Tom McMillan.
No, he can shoot from outside. They'll come up on it.
McMillan will get that down, so they're going to have to come out and play him. And that may loosen things up inside for Orlando, and he will wait and see. Here's Walt Frazier. What a shot by Walt Frazier.
Walt Frazier taking the advantage of the height over Charlie Chris, and Walt Frazier might even take him down low post.
They may have to switch on. No way Chris is going to guard Frazier. Charlie Chris, Austin Carr's on him. Here's Ollie Johnson. Standing jumper. Ollie. That's a tough shot.
That's the thing Atlanta can't do. They got to go to the hoop.
All right, here's Frazier again. Rebound by Tom McMillan. Charlie Chris. So fast he outran the pass. McMillan. Terry. And over the top, that was Tree Rollins. He had bad position, tried to go over the top. It's hard to get 7-2 players to learn position because they've never had to get position being 7-2. But when you get with these guys in the pro game, you better learn. Or they'll get you on that foul all the time, right, Mendy?
A little battle now going on inside between Jimmy Jones and Rollins.
Rollins made a great block on Walt Frazier. Here comes Terry with a basketball. 26-20, the Hawks trail the Cavs by 4. Here's McMillan, that's what we mean. Tommy McMillan can shoot that basketball, and it's 26-22 now, the Cavs by 4. McMillan, a great All-American from Maryland. Rhodes Scholar. Here's Bingo Smith. What a rebound by Tree Rollins. And here comes Charlie Chris, trying to make things happen for the Hawks. Here's McMillan again. Tommy McMillan.
You called it, Jimmy. Jones is going to have to come out and pick him up a lot higher, because he'll take that shot all day.
All right, here's Frazier working on Terry. Great move by Walt. Clyde did his number on Mr. Terry that time, and it's 28-24 now. The Hawks trail the Cavs by 4 points for Walt Frazier. 8:55 to play in the first half here in Litchfield, Ohio. Jim Carvelis, Mendy Rudolph. Two Central Division clubs who are battling. Ollie Johnson. And Bingo Smith got him. Bingo got him, I believe, before the shot. He got him before the shot. 28-24. The Cavaliers lead the Hawks by 4 here with 8:43 to play in the first half in Richfield, Ohio.
You're the Pepsi generation.
I never won anything before. Man, this is always the first time.
Come and have a Pepsi day. Come on and make this day a celebration. Come on and join the Pepsi generation. Come on and have a Pepsi day. We knew throughout the nation as Hertz the superstar. We got the winning combination. Super people, super cars, making that extra effort to meet your special needs. Getting you in, getting you out with super speed. S for superstar in rent-a-car. Hess, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
All across. People know our brand.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
Hear that, men? You can trust AC spark plugs. And remember AC filters to help protect your engine from dirt and dust. Right, Ben? Ben? Heads!
Drive through dirt and dust. Good filters are a must.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Filters by AC. Plugs and filters by AC. Plugs and
Next Sunday, CBS Sports presents NBA regional action with Los Angeles taking on Washington, Philadelphia going against Denver, Cleveland tangling with Detroit, and Houston at Portland. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's NBA regional action next Sunday.
For a report on the New York Knicks Denver Nuggets game, let's go to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Denver.
Welcome to the fans who have just joined us here in Denver. The Nuggets lead the New York Knicks 39-35. The Knicks have the ball. They are blue. Knight.
Now that's the second time in a row that that's happened. The Knicks have come down the floor and had the ball on one side of the floor, and they've left a man wide open on the other side for an easy jump shot. Lonnie Shelton the time before, and Toby Knight that time. I don't think that's part of Denver's defensive game plan here.
4 rookies on the floor for the Nuggets right now. You're watching one of them, Tommy Lagarde of North Carolina, a rookie for the Knicks, Glenn Gondrzek. You're watching some of the bright young talent in the NBA right now. Ray Williams, the rookie from Minnesota. Calvin with control, dribbles out of trouble. 9:40 to go in the first half. Foul by Williams. 9:39 to go in the first half. Denver leads the New York Knicks 39-37.
Welcome back to Cleveland. Jim Carveles along with Mendy Rudolph. The score is now 30-26. Cavaliers by 4. McMillan had another basket, and Austin Carr answered for Cleveland, and that's where we are right now. Don McMillan with the ball is 3 for 3. Jim Brewer in the game for Jimmy Jones. Here's Terry's long jumper. McMillan the tip, and the rebound Elmore Smith. The Cavs by 4. 7:45 to play in the first half here in Richfield, Ohio. Here's Jim Brewer. Who lost his starting job 2 games ago. Elmore Smith. Tree Rollins with the ball. Charlie Chris streaking up the middle. Look at this little guy motor. And the rebound to Elmore Smith. He's at a bushel load today, Mendy. Austin Carr, Bingo Smith. You can't let him alone there.
No way you let him alone out there. He gets around that foul circle, it's fine.
That's a layup for Bingo. 32-26. The Cavaliers by 6. And Charlie Chris with the basketball. The Terry. You're just tuning in. The Hawks in red, the Cavs in gold, and the Cavaliers by 6. Charlie Chris is fouled by Austin Carr. Austin Carr having a great season, Mendy. Maybe his best season in the NBA. So much was expected of Austin when he came out of Notre Dame as a great scorer, and he is finally coming around now.
And he did have some injuries there early in his career, which affected his play. He's healthy now and playing extremely well.
These 1,700 one-gallon gas cans reach up to the highest suspension bridge in the world, demonstrating just one advantage of the new Chevy Chevette. If the car you drive now has an average EPA combined city highway mileage estimate of 17 miles to a gallon of gas, and you switch to a Chevy Chevette with its higher mileage, you might save up to this much gas, as much as 1,700 gallons over 5 years of normal driving. 1,700 gallons, enough to reach from the bottom of Royal Gorge to the bridge above and then some.
Energy for a stronger America.
Last year, Exxon launched the world's tallest offshore oil platform. Today, off California's coast, it's opening America's really deep waters as a source of energy for the first time. From its deck over 900 feet above the ocean floor, drilling crews have begun work. And soon, 28 wells here will be producing oil and gas where none could be produced before. A new source of energy for a strong America.
Now comes Miller time. You've turned a dangerous ledge of new powder into a harmless pile of snow. Now's the time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Alan Arkin stars in The Defection of Seamus Kudirka, a true story of one man's fight for freedom. Monday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Even though Cleveland is 20-21 right now, it wasn't that long ago, as you saw, 75-76, and they were the Central Division champs. Mendy, Atlanta down by 6 here, and they haven't shot a free throw yet with 6:58 to play in the half.
And that's very unusual, Jim, because Atlanta leads the league in free throws attempted. Now, what that means is what we've been saying all along, that Atlanta is going to the outside shot. Tom McMillan, I should say, has hit 3 outside shots. No one's going to the hoop, and therefore they're not getting the free throws. And if they don't go to the hoop, they're going to remain behind.
Eddie Johnson's in the game now for Chris. He had it knocked out of bounds.
I guess on the other hand, you've got to compliment Cleveland for playing good defense by cutting off the shot, as we just saw, and cutting off that layup.
I think the big thing here is that Elmore Smith has done such a great job inside. There's a tough shot and a good shot by Johnny Drew to make it 32-28. The Cavs by 4. Elmore Smith has clogged it up so much inside. He's intimidated Atlanta. They're not wanting to get in there for the. They don't want to take him on inside. Austin Carr to Jones, back in the game. Rebound, Johnny Drew. Out to Eddie Johnson. What a move by Johnson. What a shot. Whoa. 32-30. The Cavs lead is only 2 now. Johnson is impressed, Mendy, no doubt about it. Fine-looking rookie from Auburn. And he's in with his cousin, Tree Rollins, who's done a good job as well. All right, here's Jones. McMillan trying to play Jones. Now he has to switch off, and McMillan's got to pick up Frazier. And the whistle blows, and the foul has been called, I believe, against McMillan. McMillan trying to fight through that pick, Mendy.
A little too aggressive, and there was a good example of the Cleveland offense. They run that clock way down. Therefore, they're the lowest scoring team in the NBA, get off the least number of shots, and that's the reason why. They just keep running the 24-second clock down and take bad shots sometimes.
There's traveling. 2 Atlanta Hawks in the basketball. An ill-advised shot to begin with, and then Atlanta turns it right over again. Armand Hill was on the ball. Drew was with him.
That's something you very seldom see. A violation caused by your own player, just
That's
pulling
right.
him to the ground and causing a walk.
32-30. The Cavs by Drew. Austin Clark. Tommy McMillan with the basketball. Armand Hill. McMillan, and they're not going to give him a shot now. He dragged the pivot foot. You see Brewer right on top of McMillan, Mendy. There's no way he's giving him that 20-foot jump shot.
Well, that was the defensive change that Bill Fitz did right now. He took Jones off of McMillan, put Brewer on, is giving Elmore Smith now a well-rested time period on the bench, and Jones is now playing at center position.
McMillan leaves. John Brown comes in the game for Atlanta. 32-30, the Cavaliers on top of the Hawks. Bingo Smith. Bingo.
John Drew trying to double-team Walt Frazier. Walt Frazier knew it, knew Bingo Smith was open. A good pass by the number 11 now, who used to wear number 10 and can't wait for Dick Snyder to give up that jersey.
There's Drew. What a shot. Drew had almost no room at all on that baseline. 34-32, the Cavaliers by 2. And Johnny Drew now has a dozen points. Walt Frazier against Armand Hill. Wide. Pick, but Hill stayed with him nicely. Now to Jones, who would set the pick, back to Frazier. And a foul is going to be called on Hill. Armand Hill thought he'd established position. You know, Manny, that was kind of close. That's a tough call.
And Hubie Brown disagrees. There could have been a charging call. Very, very hairline.
Well, that might be the toughest call for an official to make. Has he established defensive position or not?
I tell you, Lee, there's no place to go, Lee.
Moments ago, you saw a shot at Campy Russell. He wants to get back in this game. Traveling. Bingo Smith walking. And now Campy Russell is going to get in the ball game. Bingo Smith leaves. Campy Russell. Great star at Michigan. You probably have heard the story, but I think it's worth repeating. He got the name Campanella because his father was a great Dodger fan, and Roy Campanella was...
Who can ever forget that great catcher, right?
Oh, good play that time by Campy Russell defensively on Johnny Drew.
Cleveland playing excellent defense right now. They're sagging the middle, blocking off the passing lane, and forcing Atlanta into the shots they really don't want to take.
We have 4:18 to play in the half. The Cavaliers by 2. The Hawks trying to tie. Nelly Chris has been contained. Good pass. Austin Carr from Frazier and a foul on John Brown.
It's one of the few times we'll see Cleveland run, and it usually occurs when Footsy Walker's in the game and or Austin Carr. Now we'll watch this. There's the foul. A good pass off by Frazier, and a good foul, I might add, by John Brown. It was an easy layup.
Austin Carr. Macon High School in Washington, D.C. 35-32. Hawes with the rebound to Charlie Chris. To Hawes. Now, see, they'll give him a little room. They'll let him shoot it. Drew missing. And here's Johnson. He's drifted the ball. Here comes Carr. Back to Carr. What a collision. Whoa! No foul on the play. Whoa! No foul, and the ball up and in is 37-32.
Boy, you look from here that Austin Carr got waylaid.
Now we have no call. We have the Cavs by 5. 3:33 to play in the first half. Johnson looking for Drew inside. Campy Russell's going to play Drew. Drew, 17 feet. Johnny Drew's got 14 points, and it's 37-34. The Cavaliers' lead is 3. Now here's Chris playing Frazier. Austin Carr. Here comes Charlie Chris. 3-on-3. He has nothing. He slows it up. Johnny Drew free.
Smart play by Charlie Chris that time. Attempted the fast break. Saw it wasn't there. Slowed it up. Made sure he had the position. Atlanta wound up with a good shot. Good hitsy play.
Atlanta's only one off the pace now. 37-36 Cavaliers. Austin Carr. Tough shot. Carr. Outstanding shot. Hawes was right there and he beat him.
Using his body extremely well and protecting the ball. What he did when he got to the hoop is he turned his hips to Hawes. There was no way he could block the shot. Austin Carr used the board extremely well that time.
Now there's a good defensive play by Austin Carr that time as Charlie Chris tried to draw a foul. He had nowhere to go, and the foul was not called. 39-36 Cavs.
Like your GM car?
Yeah.
Want to keep that great GM feeling?
We sure do.
Then shake hands with Mr. Goodrich. He's dedicated to improved customer care at more than 6,000 participating GM dealers.
You want genuine GM parts. You want your car fixed right, on time. That's what I want too. Caring about your GM car helps keep me in business.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Hi-ho! Your Admiral here to inspect your shipload of values.
Ready for inspection, sir, with outstanding values. We're offering this automatic ice maker kit free with selected Admiral side-by-side refrigerators.
Roger.
No, it's Walter, sir.
Roger.
And on Admiral television sets that adapt for remote control, the remote control unit is free, a feature that could cost up to $90 on some other brands.
A shipload of values you can be proud of, lad.
Thank you, sir.
Sale ends February 4th at participating Admiral dealers.
Fred sent in his tax return yesterday. Now he has to wait for his refund check. And wait, and wait. Harry had plans for his refund money. He went to Beneficial, because Beneficial wants to lend you the full amount of the refund you expect, and more, so you can get going now. If you have plans for your refund money, would you rather wait, like Fred, or go, like Harry?
At Beneficial, you're good for more.
Next Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents the PGA Tour's Andy Williams San Diego Open, with Tom Watson heading a strong field. That's next Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Here's the replay on that Austin Carr basket, Jimmy. Watch this now, how beautifully he blocks, paws out with his body. He drives the baseline, turns. There it is. Pretty play.
Richfield, Ohio, Jim Carvelis, Mendy Rudolph, 39-36. The Cavaliers lead the Hawks. Balanced scoring for the Cavaliers. Campy Russell, 7, Jones, 6, Elmore Smith, 6, Dick Snyder, 5, Carr, 5, Bingo Smith, 4, and Fraser, 6. So 7 points leads Cleveland, where John Drew has scored 16 to lead the Hawks. Trying to backdoor that time. Campy Russell. Jones trying to find a backdoor.
Good talking out there. You could hear it. Hollering backdoor. It came from the Atlanta bench. Hubie Brown, a couple players on the court recognized it immediately.
Walt Frazier running the show. Johnson is on him now. Now they're looking for Carr because he's got Chris on. Frazier can't get him the ball. Now they get it to Austin. They were looking for that all the time. Charlie Chris at 5'8" on Austin Carr, who's about 6'3", 6'4", trying to take advantage of the mismatch. They finally got it to him.
John Brown come over to help out. He has 3 personal fouls. Leads the league, I might add, in disqualifications. And that's one of the reasons why. John Brown is a very unselfish player, always trying to help out on defense, helping his teammates, and that's one of the reasons he will foul out often.
That's McMillan, 52, back in the game. Tony Robertson, number 4, is in for Atlanta, replacing Charlie Chris with 2:11 to play in the first half. Austin Carr makes it 40-26. The Cavaliers lead by 4. And 5. 41-36, the Cavs over the Hawks. Eddie Johnson on the back line. He's played well. Back there with Robertson, they'll have Hawes. Ollie Johnson with the ball now. McMillan up front. Hawes from 15 in the baseline. Rebound, Campy Russell. Goes to Mr. Frazier. Campy Russell. What a great touch. 43-36. The Cavs now by 7. I believe that's their biggest lead of the game. Cavaliers by 7. 1:35 to play in the half. Ollie Johnson missing, and Clyde with the rebound. Walt Frazier, a native of Atlanta, we might add. Walt Frazier. Jim Jones, the big guy from the outside. That's pretty good touch for a big guy.
Got the bounce, Jim. Hit that ring just right with the soft touch, and the ball went through the hoop. Now Atlanta again has gone to the pattern of outside shooting and not going to the hoop.
Tom McMillan finally misses a shot. First one he's missed in 4. Clyde for the ball. Cavs by 9, charging. Austin Carr. Good position that time by Tommy McMillan.
Watch McMillan now. Established position. That's a tough shot to take, but it's a great defensive play because it cuts off the penetration. And I'll tell you, you really got to be unselfish to do that. Just take that shot because that floor is hard.
Ed Johnson back in the game now with the basketball, number 3. He's with Robertson in the back line for the Atlanta Hawks. They trail by 9 with 53 seconds to play in the half. There's Johnny Drew. John Drew's got 18 points now, and it's 45-38. The Cavaliers by 7 with 43 seconds. Campy Russell, the big guy, handles it pretty well. 35 seconds now. See the shot. And the foul's been called on Tree Rollins.
And that's the one thing you don't want to do when you're playing defense. You just don't want to get caught up in the air. At that point, Rollins had thought that a shot was coming. He left his feet. Jimmy Jones had him in his complete command, took advantage of it, drew the foul. Got to stay on your feet. Once you get up, you are a dead duck.
Jimmy Jones will get another. 32 seconds to play till the end of the first half. 45-38 Cavs. It's still 45-38. Tree Rollins with 29 seconds going to get over to Eddie Johnson. We've got our horse competition coming up at halftime. A couple of Chicagoans. Born and raised in Chicago. Cassie Russell against Mickey Johnson of the Chicago Bulls, and that ought to be something.
It's a goodie, I'll tell you.
21 seconds on the Atlanta turnover. Cavaliers trying to get to the 500 mark. 20-21 coming in. They're a better club than that. Campy Russell with 9 seconds. Walt Frazier, and I believe is
we had a 3-second call that time.
3-second call.
3-second violation.
All right, 2 seconds. That's going to be the end of the half here. For a report on the New York Knicks Denver Nuggets, let's go to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Denver.
Welcome to those of you who have just joined us. Denver with the ball, leading the Knicks by 1. Bobby Jones loses it in the McNichols Arena in Denver. I'm Brent Musburger along with Keith Erickson. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. 47-46. Nuggets lead the Knicks, and David Thompson has not been much of a factor this quarter, Keith.
No. Now, that looked like good defensive position, and it was. Jack Madden called a charge on Bob McAdoo. Let's watch David. No, you really couldn't see the charge on the play, except for Bobby Jones going back, and you can't tell if it's a charge or not the way the guys are able to fake that these days.
Denver retains possession, leading by a point. Thompson will throw it inbounds. Calvin, Wilkerson, Jones, Roberts out there for Larry Brown. Roberts, McAdoo right with him.
That was a beautiful block by Bob McAdoo, and Anthony Roberts 2 times in a row now. He was called for traveling and then a block shot. He said, "Oh man!"
And then he came around behind his back and tossed the ball off his teammate. Tough moment for Anthony Roberts. 2:23 to go in the first half. 47-46, Denver ahead of New York.
Coming up, more competition in the CBS Horse Tournament when one of our NBA analysts, Cassie Russell, will go up against Chicago Bulls sharpshooter Mickey Johnson.
A year ago, I reported on the Bell System's commitment to solving business problems. We now have teams of problem solvers for every industry symbolized here. Transportation, retailing, finance, healthcare, education, and many more, for which we've designed communication systems to answer business problems. We're not just designing a symbol for your industry, we're redesigning the Bell System's marketing approach to serve your needs.
If you're planning a business trip, do what more travelers are doing. Call your local Hilton reservation service. We use the unique Hiltron computer, which can tell you lots of things about where you're going. Like the fine restaurants at Hilton, major events in town, what teams are playing, the shops right in the hotel. And oh yes, room reservations too. So call Hilton Reservation Service. It's part of Hilton Rainbow Service.
Let the Hilton Rainbow brighten your day.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like you to try something.
Okay.
Hold out your hand.
Hey, what is that?
That's Track 2 shave cream, and that's another brand. Feel any difference?
The Track 2 feels heavier.
That's because the Track 2 is heavier. It's packed with moisturizers.
Moisturizers?
They help hold the moisture in your skin so your face feels good after you shave.
After I
It'll
shave?
feel soft and moisturized.
Great. Wait, what do I do now?
Shave.
Track 2, heavy with moisturizers.
See what's new today.
Last spring, 227 specially equipped Chevy Nova police cars were delivered to the Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Department. Now, that's a tall order, but no surprise, because law enforcement agencies in 47 states have made Chevy Nova America's best-selling police compact. Now, a lot of the things the police look for in a new car are the same things you'd look for in a new car. Reliability, performance, and value. Chevy Nova, a wanted car, now more than ever.
Hi, everyone. I'm Don Cricky, and this year at halftime on CBS coverage of NBA basketball, we have some of the top players in the league matched up in the old schoolyard game of horse, where a player must duplicate his opponent's shots or be assessed a penalty letter. 5 misses means 5 letters. That spells horse, and he's out. Today we have Mickey Johnson going against Cassie Russell, and for more on the rules, here's Mendy Rudolph.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area
are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Cazzie Russell, the #1 draft choice in the NBA 11 seasons ago out of Michigan, was won the flip, and he'll call to lead away. He must call his shot
Call your shot,
now.
Kaz.
Right-hand hook shot.
Right-hand hook shot, says Cazzie.
Right-hand hook shot off the glass.
Now must be matched by Mickey Johnson.
And made by Mickey Johnson.
Cazzie's now a broadcaster with us on CBS after 11 seasons in the NBA, and here he goes with the left hand.
Left hand off the glass, Mickey. And there's the first letter. Mickey Johnson picks up an H.
Jump shot, top of the key.
Swish jump shot.
Can't do any better than that. At a whistle, another letter on Mickey.
Mickey Johnson picks up an O. Cazzie Russell in the lead. Okay, Kaz, call your shot.
Jumper, corner.
Corner jump shot.
Goodness.
Mickey Johnson Cates.
Jumper.
Swisher from the top of the key, Mickey.
Cazzie's keeping the heat on with that ace jump shot of his.
Third
Another
letter
whistle,
coming up.
another letter on Mickey Johnson.
H-O-R. Cazzie Russell in the lead. Go, Kaz.
Bank is open. Bank shot.
A bank shot. Cazzie doesn't miss. Got to use the backboard. And Mickey Johnson
Big
does
guy
it.
stays with him.
Bank shot.
Off the glass. Cazzie misses. And makes, rather.
We're coming to you from the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
What's going to do, Kaz?
Straight in.
Straight in. And Mickey Johnson straight in.
Straight in.
Cazzie is really keeping the heat on with that jump shot.
Cazzie has an eye. Great streak shooter.
So Mickey is now one letter from elimination.
Cazzie with a jumper just will not miss. Mickey Johnson under pressure now. And that's it. Cazzie closes him out.
So Cazzie celebrates with a little slam dunk, and Cazzie Russell closes out Mickey Johnson 5 letters to none, and Cazzie moves on to the second round of this horse competition. Cazzie, you got him quick.
I had to get to him before he got warm. You know, young guys get warm. Mickey's a good shooter, and I was just trying to get to him early before he got started.
All right, you're a streak shooter, and you had it going today, Cazzie. We'll see you in the rounds to come.
I hope so, Don.
A loser in the first round gets a check for $500. The winner, of course, advances. And next week, you'll be watching Bingo Smith of Cleveland against All-Pro Doug Collins of Philadelphia.
The NBA on CBS will return after this word from your local station.
Bob Hope, Alan King, Roy Clark. Just a few of the stars highlighted in the Kraft 75th Anniversary Special, Tuesday night on CBS.
We'll be bringing you the finals of the Grand Slam of tennis following this game. Let's go to Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert in Boca Raton, Florida for a report.
We're here for the Grand Slam of tennis, and I can't think of two better players to be in the finals than number 1 and 2, Borg and Connors.
That's for sure, Pat. Borg played extremely well against Brian Gottfried on Friday and beat him 6-2, 6-4. And then, of course, Connors came out to play what we thought would be a tough match against Gerolaitis.
And Jimmy Connors against Borg 2 weeks ago at Madison Square Garden was a classic. You hate to call every match you ever see between these two a classic, but that's what we expect.
We do. It's going to be close. I think Borg's going to win.
Well, let's get to Connors and see how he did away with Vita Scarolitis. Match point.
Connors won the first set 6-2. Good rally. You want to see a super finishing shot. Watch this right here. Just inside the sideline, and that is how Connors has advanced to the finals of the Grand Slam against Bjorn Borg.
And so be with us then right after basketball is over and come back and watch Bjorn Borg against Connors. You pick Borg, don't you?
I sure do.
At the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts during this season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game. Now, in conjunction with this award, Chevrolet will present a check for $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the player's college or university. Any student may be eligible to benefit from these scholarship funds. Today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. Mendy Rudolph, you and I will be voting for the MVP, and should we disagree, and that's possible, our producer Tom O'Neill will cast the deciding vote. So we'll put it on him, Mendy. Jimmy the Greek is in Denver with Brent Musburger. Let's go to Denver for some inside information on the NBA as we join the Greek's grapevine.
Time now to check in with our favorite Greek. And Jimmy, coming up after basketball, the tennis final of the Grand Slam tournament, it's Jimmy Connors and Bjorn Borg again. Who do you favor?
No question in my mind, Connors.
Now, last year, Borg won this tournament over Jimmy. Slower surface. Doesn't that favor Bjorn?
Definitely it does. But Connors is at the top of his game at this moment. Nobody in the country in the world is playing better tennis than Mr. Connors at this moment.
I am not about to differ with you, Greek. A month ago, you told me George Allen was going to leave Washington, go to Los Angeles. You still holding to that today? George Allen, the next coach of the Rams, in your opinion?
Absolutely. No change of guard at all.
Now, you say Jack Pardee will become the next head coach at Washington, but what about Chicago, Greek?
That is wide open. That is wide open. But definitely it will be a person with a low profile, very conservative type of guy, like, for instance, like Bud Carson of Pittsburgh.
Now, what about a man by the name of Jake Gatta, who happens to be a coach up in Canada and who was at the World Football League?
You picked my number 2 man.
You got him right down there on your ready list, but I see an assistant from Denver on that ready list, Stan Jones.
That's right. He's got a good chance also. It's going to be, someone low in profile and with a conservative philosophy. And nobody's going to know who it is, not even Hallis, until Finks makes up his mind.
What's Chuck Knox tell you about his new job?
He went to Siberia.
Where he's shoveling snow, right? Have a nice day.
We're at halftime in Richfield, Ohio, and the Cavaliers lead the Atlanta Hawks 45-38. Jim Carvelis together with Mendy Rudolph. We'll be back.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Sir, what's the hurry?
Going to rent a car.
Oh, well, you don't have to run.
Gotta run.
Oh, no, if you had an Avis Wizard number, you could walk.
Walk.
Call toll-free and let our Wizard system do the running. Just show a major credit card, license, sign, and get the car.
I don't have to run through airports?
Not with Avis.
I can walk through airports.
We try harder, Avis. Avis, we don't know another way.
I'm walking through airports.
What are more people using to help their cars last?
Quaker State Motor Oil.
Sure, Quaker State. Hey, Quaker State.
Quaker State.
What are more people using to help them avoid expensive engine repairs?
Quaker State.
Quaker State. What else?
Quaker State.
Quaker State.
Quaker State helps cars last. Maybe that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in America.
The one-on-one drive to the basket is one of the most exciting plays in pro basketball. I'm John Havlicek, and through United Way-supported Big Sister programs, these young women are experiencing the excitement that comes from a close one-to-one relationship. You're helping to make life fuller for these and thousands of other big and little sisters across the country. Thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. The Kellys.
We'll be bringing you the finals of the Grand Slam of tennis following this game. Let's go to Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert in Boca Raton, Florida for a report.
We're here for the Grand Slam of tennis, and I can't think of two better players to be in the finals than number 1 and 2, Borg and Connors.
That's for sure, Pat. Borg played extremely well against Brian Gottfried on Friday and beat him 6-2, 6-4. And then, of course, Connors came out to play what we thought would be a tough match against Gerolaitis.
And Jimmy Connors against Borg 2 weeks ago at Madison Square Garden was a classic. You hate to call every match you ever see between these two a classic, but that's what we expect.
We do. It's going to be close. I think Borg's going to win.
Well, let's get to Connors and see how he did away with Vitas Gerolaitis. Match point.
Connors won the first set 6-2. Good rally. You want to see a super finishing shot. Watch this right here. Just inside the sideline, and that is how Jimmy Connors has advanced to the finals of the Grand Slam against Bjorn Borg.
And so be with us then right after basketball is over and come back and watch Bjorn Borg against Connors. You pick Borg, don't you?
I sure do.
At the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts during this season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game. Now, in conjunction with this award, Chevrolet will present a check for $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the player's college or university. Any student may be eligible to benefit from these scholarship funds. Today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. Mendy Rudolph, you and I will be voting for the MVP, and should we disagree, and that's possible, our producer Tom O'Neill will cast the deciding vote. So we'll put it on him, Mendy. Jimmy the Greek is in Denver with Brent Musburger. Let's go to Denver for some inside information on the NBA as we join the Greek's grapevine.
Time now to check in with our favorite Greek. And Jimmy, coming up after basketball, the tennis final of the Grand Slam tournament, it's Jimmy Connors and Bjorn Borg again. Who do you favor?
No question in my mind, Connors.
Now, last year, Borg won this tournament over Jimmy. Slower surface. Doesn't that favor Bjorn?
Definitely it does. But Connors is at the top of his game at this moment. Nobody in the country in the world is playing better tennis than Mr. Connors at this moment.
I am not about to differ with you, Greek. A month ago, you told me George Allen was going to leave Washington, go to Los Angeles. You still holding to that today? George Allen, the next coach of the Rams, in your opinion?
Absolutely. No change of guard at all.
Now, you say Jack Pardee will become the next head coach of Washington, but what about Chicago, Greek?
That is wide open. That is wide open. But definitely it will be a person with a low profile, very conservative type of guy, like, for instance, like Bud Carson of Pittsburgh.
Now, what about a man by the name of Jake Gatta, who happens to be a coach up in Canada and who was at the World Football League?
You picked my number 2 man.
You got him right down there on your ready list, but I see an assistant from Denver on that ready list, Stan Jones.
That's right. He's got a good chance also. It's going to be, someone low in profile and with a conservative philosophy. And nobody's going to know who it is, not even Hallis, until Finks makes up his mind.
What's Chuck Knox tell you about his new job?
He went to Siberia.
Where he's shoveling snow, right? Have a nice day.
We're at halftime in Richfield, Ohio, and the Cavaliers lead the Atlanta Hawks 45-38. Jim Carvelis together with Mendy Rudolph. We'll be back.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got a third less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are.
I'm Dick.
You think you are, but you never were before.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Sir, what's the hurry?
Going to rent a car.
Oh, well, you don't have to run.
Gotta run.
Oh, no, if you had an Avis Wizard number, you could walk.
Walk.
Call toll-free and let our Wizard system do the running. Just show a major credit card, license, sign, and get the car.
I don't have to run through airports?
Not with Avis.
I can walk through airports.
We try hard, Avis. Avis, we don't know another way.
I'm walking through airports.
What are more people using to help their cars last?
Quaker State Motor Oil.
Shoot, Quaker State. Hey, Quaker State.
Quaker State.
What are more people using to help them avoid expensive engine repairs?
Quaker State.
Quaker State. What else?
Quaker State.
Quaker State.
Quaker State helps cars last. Maybe that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in America.
The one-on-one drive to the basket is one of the most exciting plays in pro basketball. I'm John Havlicek, and through United Way-supported Big Sister programs, these young women are experiencing the excitement that comes from a close one-to-one relationship. You're helping to make life fuller for these and thousands of other big and little sisters across the country. Thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. The Kellys Springfield Tire Company. The Kellys, they're good and tough. And by light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Well, the Cavaliers lead by 7 at halftime. Mendy, there is a shocking first half statistic.
There certainly is, and I can't believe it, but it's here. Atlanta has tried 0 free throws and, of course, converted 0 free throws, whereas Cleveland has 7 for 12, and that's the difference in the scoring right now. But I think we should talk a little bit about Elmore Smith.
I don't think there's any doubt. In our opinions, the big key in this game has been Elmore Smith starting at center, intimidating Atlanta early in the game. Atlanta's going to be a shooting club from the outside now. Their percentage of shots has lessened, and I think Elmore intimidated them in the first half. What do you think Hubie's going to do to counteract that?
Well, Elmore has 10 rebounds, leading both clubs right now, and 4 block shots. And I think what they got to do is Atlanta just has to go back into the patterns and challenge Elmore Smith. The closer you get to him, the more difficult it is for him to block shots. So Atlanta has found success so far this year in penetrating to the hoop. Right now, John Drew has almost half their points. He's their leading scorer. And they just got to get back into the pattern. Charlie Chris has got to move the ball to the hoop. They got to look for the easy shot and look for the layup instead of the jump shot. But Elmore Smith definitely had set the pattern in the first half and intimidated the Atlanta offense.
Well, you fans back in the Atlanta area who are familiar with the Hawks know that being down by 7 at halftime doesn't mean a thing. This Hawk team has been a very competitive club this year. They've surprised a lot of people. They're a scrappy club. They don't have a lot of superstars, but they're going to play you, and Cleveland knows they're going to play them. So this is not going to be an easy second half for the Cavaliers.
And Hubie Brown has done a great job with the Atlanta club, Jim. Attendance has proved it. They have already drawn more people this year down in Atlanta than they did the entire year last year. And there are the stats we talked about. 58% to 0 for Atlanta, which is unbelievable. Field goal percentages, as you see, the rebounds pretty even, assists pretty even, turnovers pretty even. Cleveland stole the ball 4 times. But the big thing, again, is getting back to Elmore Smith. He took Atlanta out of their offensive patterns and has really been the dominating force on the Cleveland defensive team.
All right, Atlanta going with the same group they started the game with. John Drew at forward along with John Brown, who's number 50. Steve Hawes will be in the middle. They'll go with Armand Hill and Eddie Johnson in the back line. Now Cleveland coming out here. That's Footsy Walker, Campanella Russell, Elmore Smith, Jimmy Jones, and Dick Snyder. So each club starting the second half the way they started the ball game. 45-38. If you're just tuning our way, the Cavaliers over the Hawks by 7. The Hawks in the red uniforms, the Cavs in gold. The second half is underway. And a foul call right away. Johnny Drew goes to the hoop, or goes up close to the hoop, and Campy Russell got him.
Wouldn't you know what happened on the first play of the second half? We talked during our halftime piece about Atlanta not attempting free throws, and there's John Drew with the first free throws of the ball game.
Johnny Drew. Well, I haven't been there in so long. Maybe they forgot how to shoot him. Johnny Drew will get another now. Atlanta's first free throw of the game with 11:50 to play in the third period. 45-39, the Cavs by 6. All right, Armin Hill is picking up Footsy Walker. Now is switch. Elmore Smith 3. Somebody forgot to pick up Elmore Smith. 8 feet from the basket, and it's 47-39. The Cavaliers by 8. All right, let's watch Atlanta. Let's see how they attack Cleveland's defense here in the second half. John Brown, bottom of the net from 20 feet. No defense for that. 47-41. The Cavs again by 6. Good work by Jimmy Jones.
And let's give a little credit to Footsy Walker for penetrating that baseline. He had the man come off, double-teamed him, found the open man. Jimmy Jones down the hoop.
All right, good defensive play that time by Footsy Walker. Now the steal. Hawes. Steve Hawes, and now Atlanta is starting to get inside, starting to hustle a little bit in there. 49-43, the Cavaliers. Elmore Smith. Elmore Smith, 51-43, the Cavaliers by 8. And Elmore Smith has scored 10 points. But his big contribution, as we've been saying, has been defensively and on the boards. Brown to Hawes. He'll go again. Hawes, 2 in a row. And it's 51-45, the Cavs by 6. And Mindy, this pace is a lot quicker now in the second half. Footsy Walker, tough shot by Footsy.
They're tough when they win the hoop. No one knows how difficult it was.
Eddie Johnson couldn't have played him much better. He just made a tough shot. 53-45. 8-point Cleveland lead again. Armin Hill is free and he's fouled. The basket will count, and the foul is against Footsy Walker.
He got a little stale on defense that time. He turned his head, tried to overplay, took advantage of it, reached in, caught the elbow. There's the hoop. Just made a defensive change now. Steve Hawes has went to the bench because of the scoring by Elmore Smith. Hubie Brown has made the change with Tree Hollins. He will attempt to keep Elmore Smith away from the hoop.
53-48. 3-point play there by Armin Hill. And the Cavaliers lead by 5 as Footsy Walker gets away. Campy Russell. And a good rebound by Johnny Drew. A good release pass to Armin Hill. Armin. Rebound Elmore Smith. Interception by Eddie Johnson. Good play by Eddie. All alone. 15-footer Johnny Drew. And here come the Atlanta Hawks. It's 53-50. The Cavs lead is only 3. 21 points for Johnny Drew. Good defense now by Atlanta. Atlanta is a good defensive team.
Cleveland getting the bounce that time. A bad shot by Campy Russell. Got the right hoop. Of course, it went in, but it was a bad shot, bad selection of the shot.
That's a good roll, 55-50, the Cavaliers by 5. Eddie Johnson working against Dick Snyder now. Looking for Johnny Drew now. Why not? Footsy Walker. Campy Russell. Dick Snyder.
Great heads-up play by Campy Russell. Had no chance to make the hoop, was completely turned around, looks for Dick Snyder coming to the hoop, and while in the air with great body control, passed it off to Snyder for the layup. As we see, Snyder using the glass well.
Why are men switching from aerosol hairsprays to Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray?
The pump? Because it doesn't spray any aerosol propellants.
The pump? Well, it costs less to use. Save money.
It's because the pump is stronger. It can hold longer than the best-selling aerosol.
The Pump. Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray, now with an even finer spray. Why don't you switch from your aerosol to
The pump, do, the pump. See what's new today.
Chevrolet introduces a new kind of space vehicle, the new size Malibu wagon. It has a new and very convenient two-way hatch gate and an amazing amount of interior space. You can load the new size Malibu with the tailgate down or with it up, and when you finish loading, there's still ample room for family and friends. Chevy's new size Malibu wagon, it's the kind of friend a modern family can use.
Do you use a separate pot for frying, cooking, and steaming? Well, now there's the new Hamilton Beach Dial-A-Pot. It's 3 pots in one. Dial fry and it fries up your favorite foods fast and crunchy. Dial steam and it steams the best vegetables and the most delectable seafood. Dial cook and it cooks up everything from soups that simmer to tasty stews. The new energy-saving Dial-A-Pot. It's 3 pots in one. A great gift only from the Hamilton Beach Scoville World of Appliances.
Tuesday, join Bob Hope when the stars come out for the Kraft 75th Anniversary Special. Tuesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain Time.
Cavaliers 57, the Hawks 50. Mandy, we've had a great pace here in the third period. It was 45-38 at the half, and in the first 3.5 minutes of the third period, we've had 24 points scored, 12 for each club.
Definitely picked up the pace. I think what they did first 2 quarters is probably run through the motion. This third quarter has been the type of basketball game that we expected to see. Atlanta, again, is really not into the patterns they want to get into. Elmore Smith still dominating both ends of the boards. And Charlie Chris, who is still on the bench, has really not shown what he can do, because I've seen him play, and he can really light him up for you.
Cleveland some token pressure in the backcourt now, trying to make things tough on the Atlanta Hawks. Here's Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson, Armin Hill on the back line for the Hawks. They've got John Brown with the ball now. Up front with him, Tree Rollins and Johnny Drew. Johnny Drew. John Brown and a block. Good block by Jimmy Jones. Outstanding defensive play by Jones. And the Cavs with a 7-point lead and the basketball with 8:05 to play in the third period. Richfield, Ohio, what a beautiful arena this is. Seats close to 20,000 for basketball. Snyder walk. Dick Snyder walked with the basketball.
Jimmy Jones has great defensive position here. Times it beautifully. And that's the art of shot blocking. You just got to leave your feet at the right time and take advantage of that shot.
Armin Hill with the basketball. John Brown on top. Drew missing. Elmore Smith rebounding. Elmore Smith really doing a number on the Atlanta Hawks tonight. And a foul on John Brown. And Elmore Smith is a native of Macon, Georgia. Doing it to the hometown folks this afternoon. 4 fouls on John Brown, by the way. With 7:28 to play in the third period, the Cavaliers by 7. Trying to get it to Elmore Smith, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Elmore Smith.
Elmore Smith not too happy with that call, telling Lee Jones about it. Little activity in that hole right now. Rollins is overplaying Smith. I'm sure instructions from Hubie Brown to just keep him away from those boards.
Armin Hill stepped on the baseline. Tommy Nunez picked it up. 7:14 to play, third period, and the Cavaliers still have the 7-point lead. Well, ever since I said they picked up the pace, 24 points in 3.5 minutes, they haven't scored, neither club. Here's Footsy. Great pass. Elmore Smith. Great block by Tree Rollins on Elmore Smith. Fans don't like it. It looked pretty good from here, though. Eddie Johnson trying to get Atlanta within 5, and the tip almost went by John Drew. Boy, is he quick. Jones almost carried it. Interception. Johnny Drew all over the court. Bad pass. Foul is going to be called against Woodsy Walker, I believe.
That play getting a little ship shot right now. We saw a cross-court pass, which is probably the worst pass in basketball. We just saw a little dribbling going on, which shouldn't be going on. Here's that block shot coming up. Whoa, looks good. Looks awfully good. Great job. Elmore Smith didn't like it, but it was there.
The Kellys have a way to save gasoline from the ground up. A steel-belted radial called the Kelly gas pincher. When we tested a set of gas pinchers against our non-radials, the gas pincher pinched from 14.5 up to 31.7 more miles out of a tank of gas. That's hundreds of more miles a year with the gas pinchers.
Je m'appelle Boum Boum Chaffrion.
Je m'appelle Jacques Plante.
Nous sommes tous deux des anciens joueurs de hockey.
Et nous buvons la bière light de Miller.
Oui, nous buvons light parce qu'elle a 1/3 moins de calories que leur bière régulière. Elle est moins rassasiante.
Non, nous la buvons parce qu'elle a un goût magnifique.
Un moins rassasiant.
Goût magnifique.
Un moins rassasiant.
Goût magnifique.
Sacré bleu.
Imbécile.
You believe this guy?
Tu chavires.
Mais t'es un fou.
Passe la
La bière like de Miller. Tout ce que vous désirez d'une bière, et moins.
The Dutch Masters buyers are in France for the international auction of rare African Cameroon tobacco. There are two secrets they must keep to win some of the best leaf for Dutch Masters. The exact leaf they want and the price they'll pay.
That's a nice color.
When their bid is opened by the French auctioneers, they'll learn if they've won some of the best.
Acheteur Dutch Masters.
Taste the taste the world competes for in a Dutch Masters Cameroon cigar. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Challenge of the Sexes features Canadian sensation Candy Jones and Ken Shelley in a figure skating competition. Cassie Russell goes against All-American Ann Myers in a basketball challenge. Plus, a midget car racing competition. All coming up next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Challenge of the Sexes.
57-50, the Cavaliers lead the Atlanta Hawks. Tree Rollins of the Hawks. Sky with air ball. Dick Snyder. What a pass. And what a play. Elmore Smith. Elmore Smith. He has 12 points, and by the way, he now has 14 rebounds in the game. And the Cavaliers lead by 9. Terrific block that time by Campy Russell. He came away with a basketball. Campy to Snyder from 20. Johnny Drew. Armin Hill. Johnny Drew and a block. Campy Russell's called for the foul. He slams it high in the air. That's going to cost him some money as well.
I'm not too sure whether they called a tee or not. Let's see. There's the shot. There goes Campy. Up the ball went up. Yeah, there's a technical foul. Bill Fitch looks on. He's not too happy with it. I know exactly what Lee Jones said to Campy Russell when he called the tee. He said, Campy, if that ball comes down, it's going to cost you.
And the ball does not have helium. By 59-51. Cavaliers by 8. Johnny Drew getting a pair.
Johnny Drew is keeping this club in the ball game. I'll tell you, without Johnny Drew out there, they'd have all kinds of problems. They're still in this game. They're only 7 behind. They could possibly be 6 on this free throw. And John Drew is doing it all offensively.
He almost has half their point total. Here's the John Drew from the line. Now we have a 59-53 ball game and pressure from Atlanta. Snyder. Atlanta went into a full-court press. Quincy Walker has the ball now, setting it up for the Cleveland Cavaliers with 5:37 to play in the third period. The Cavs by half a dozen. Armin Hill playing defense there. Tough shot by Quincy Walker. 61-53. The Cavs by 8. Armin Hill, good penetration. There's Tree Rollins. Terrific effort by the Tree off the offensive board, and Elmore Smith with rebound number 15 throws it away.
But that's the one weakness that Elmore Smith has is the outlet pass. He really doesn't have that down pat, a la Wes Unseld. Doesn't have that good hand control to get the ball down court accurately.
Tommy McMillan comes in the game now for Atlanta, number 52. Tree Rollins has been replaced. Hawes is back in the game, Steve Hawes. Hawks still going with the back line of Armin Hill and Eddie Johnson. Here's Hawes. Johnny Drew. He wants to take Campy Russell inside. And we'll look at the rebound by Drew. What a great effort by John Drew.
Got to hand him credit. That's 26 points now for John Drew. Picked up his own offensive rebounds quickly on hustle and desire.
6-point lead for the Cavaliers. Quincy Walker cannot get inside. Hawes made a good play to knock it away from Elmore Smith. And here comes Eddie Johnson. Fine-looking rookie from Auburn. Good play by Snyder to knock it away. What an effort by Snyder. Blocking foul. And on his way to the basket will be two-shot foul coming for Dick Snyder. And what a great individual effort that was by Mr. Snyder.
Good hands, good timing, anticipated the pass, knocked it away. Totally responsible for that play. Now watch this. Snyder tipping the ball, giving himself a little lead dribble. He goes to the hoop. The best thing could have been right there if one of the Atlanta players would have fouled him and possibly picked up a no-shot foul. Now he was going to the free throw line to attempt 2 shots. In that type of a play, I've always looked for when I officiated, Jim, is for the player to hit the player early and pick up no shots at the free throw line. That's the smart thing to do.
62 to 55. Snyder makes it 53 to 55. Cleveland over Atlanta now by 8. They have 4:25 to play in the third period. 9 points for Dick Snyder, who started here in place of Walt Frazier this afternoon. We haven't seen Frazier yet in the third period. Armin Hill to McMillan. Now he can shoot it from there. Donnie McMillan, 63 to 57. McMillan is 4 out of 5 from the field. He now has 8 points. With 4 minutes to play in the third period, the Cavs have a familiar 6-point lead. They've had that the whole game, Mendy. Fouls on McMillan. Now he was overplaying Jones over there, and he was a bit too rambunctious in the overplay.
Atlanta's doing that now in the last couple of minutes. They're overplaying Cleveland. They're picking them up deep into the backcourt, hoping to take them out of the pattern and get back into the ballgame and close that gap at 6 points.
There's Chris in the game, number 14, playing Quincy Walker. That's a pretty good little matchup there. 2 quick guards. Elmore Smith backing Hawes in. Elmore Smith keeping it alive. Finally, McMillan came off with the basketball. The Hawks could get it to 4 with a hoop here. Charlie Chris. Hawes alone. And they do cut it to 4. 63 to 59.
There's that backcourt pressure we talked about. They're picking them up a little better now, causing Cleveland to take them out of their patterns and looking for the bad shot.
It's hard to believe that Atlanta is playing their 5th game in 6 days. They've really come on here in the second half. What a shot by Jim Jones. And it weighed a ton too, Mendy, because Atlanta was coming back, and he gives them that 4-point lead.
It up there like a brick. It just landed in the net.
Right, 6-point lead, 65-59, the Cavaliers. Hawes has some confidence. He's shooting a little bit lately. There's a long release. Snyder. Charlie Chris almost fouled him. 67-59. The Cavs go back up by 8 now with 2:41 to play in the third period. But this went a long way from being over. Tom McMillan on top. Johnny Drew was thinking about it. There's Charlie Chris. Watch McMillan. He'll shoot it. Chris. Long jumper. Charlie Chris. Elmore Smith away from Hawes. Snyder a good release to Campy. And Charlie Chris, the smallest guy on the floor, gets it over. Wide open Johnny Drew. 67 to 61.
And we're
6-point lead.
Again to that 6-point lead.
Johnny Drew has scored 27 points. And we still have 14 minutes and 5 seconds to play in this game. Quincy Walker. They call Hawes last. And Cleveland will get the basketball. Steve Hawes. 67 to 61. The Cavaliers lead the Atlanta Hawks by 6 points. And we have 1:54 to play in the third period.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, reclining bucket seats, white wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, a 1.6-liter engine, 18 new standard features in all, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more car for a lot less money.
Well, the weather up here is tough on everything.
You kind of feel good that you have a diehard.
You need a good battery in the city of Anchorage.
In Anchorage, they buy more diehards than any other battery.
I think the diehard was probably designed with Anchorage in mind.
Yeah, we depend on the diehard.
Turns that motor over just fantastic. And so far, Sears diehard battery has been a good battery for me.
The diehard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
Turn the key over and it goes, you know that?
Sold only at Sears.
What are you waiting for?
Right now, save $50 on a color TV from Sears.
What are you waiting for?
It's on sale for just $339.95. You get a super black matrix picture tube for bright, crisp colors, automatic fine-tuning, and a solid-state chassis, all for $339.95. You save $50 at Sears. So, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
This Monday, the dramatic event of the television season. Alan Arkin and Richard Jordan in The Defection of Seamus Kudirka.
I jump ship.
Be free. America free. I want free.
He has requested asylum.
No! The Defection of Seamus Kudirka, a true story. Monday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Well, thank you, Bucknell. That's my old home state of Pennsylvania. They love us, the Cavaliers. And let me tell you something about those Cavaliers. They're not too bad. We saw some of that halftime show. They're all right. They did quite a number out there.
You think John Drew's got good moves? Check out the Cavaliers. That'll cost me. All right. Quincy Walker to inbound the ball. Dick Snyder threw it away. Ollie Johnson gets into the ball game, picks it up. The Hawks trail the Cavs by 6 with 1:43 to play in the third period. It's a steal by Elmore Smith, but Armand Hill got it right back again. Tom McMillan. They won't give him that. Hawes, spinning jump shot. Good tip underneath by Tom McMillan.
No one took the opportunity to box him out. He took great position on the baseline. Left-handed, just tapped the ball back up. Good play by Tom McMillan.
Cavaliers lead now is 4 points with 1:17 to play in this third period. Walker against Charlie Chris. Campy Russell with Ollie Johnson. Elmore Smith and the rebound to Hawes. And the Hawks have a chance to cut this baby to 2 with 1:02 to play in the third period. Look at Charlie Chris.
All right, Charlie. I knew we'd get one of those from him.
You've been looking for that all game long.
He can light him up.
Steal by Ollie Johnson. They can tie it right here. McMillan. And the rebound came off to Footsie Walker. 67-65. The Cavaliers by only 2 with 41 seconds to play third period. I'd like to apologize for our video breaking up. Here's Snyder missing, and the ball will be awarded to Atlanta. Good shot of Ollie Johnson there. Ollie Johnson did not play high school basketball. Hasn't affected his game any. Dick Snyder has been replaced. He gets a fine and well-deserved round of applause. And Walt Frazier comes in the ballgame, his first appearance in the second half. Let's watch the Atlanta Hawks as they try to tie the game. Charlie Chris getting a pick, and here's the long jumper. Charlie Chris has tied the game. How about that, Mr. Chris? 2 straight hoops, and we've got a brand new game in Cleveland, 67 all. 5 seconds to play third period. A shot. Traveling with 2 seconds. And Footsie's very happy about that. I think Footsie did under his own power. Let's watch it.
The dribble is there. He tripped over his own foot. Bill Fitch was totally unhappy with the play as the quarter ends with the score tied 67-67. And you've got to give the Atlanta Hawks a lot of credit, Jim. They have come back from a 6 or 7 point deficit and tied the ball game as we enter into the fourth period.
Come on and taste the Pepsi way. Come on and have a Pepsi day. You found a place to celebrate. Pepsi's cold food is great. Come on and have a Pepsi day. You're the Pepsi generation. Have a Pepsi day.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Edith's elderly aunt pays a visit, and it may be permanent, leaving Archie in a stew on All in the Family tonight on CBS.
Foul on number 9, Butch Beard, is third.
And welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Denver right now. The New York Knicks lead the Denver Nuggets 84-80. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Keith Erickson. Nuggets, of course, are in their home white. The Knicks are in their road blue. And Keith, the Knicks have shown us some team basketball so far under Willis Reed.
They've been playing great today. And, it's a credit to this team. Their 8th game on the road. This is their 8th. They've lost 5 in a row. Willis is trying a lot of combinations, and I think these young rookies have really handled themselves extremely well out here.
Of course, here's the main shooting man, the forward with the golden touch, Bob McAdoo, who is back. Bobby Wilkerson of the Nuggets is at the line, formerly of Seattle, number 1 draft choice out of Indiana. A 2-point Knick lead. 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the third. Stolen by Matt Calvin, who had an excellent second quarter. Off to Roberts. Gondrzick came over and fouled him.
That's a good foul by Gondrzick right there. Anthony Roberts had an automatic 2 points on that play. Now he forced them. They're in the penalty anyway. So they're just going to make him shoot the free throws and get them from the free throw line.
Jazz and the Pistons were tied. And here is David Thompson. Those of you who were watching another game at the time missed an incredible dunk by David Thompson, who probably is playing as well as any single player in the league so far this year. You'll see him starting for the Western Conference All-Stars in the NBA All-Star game a week from Sunday from Atlanta. Roberts missed that time for the penalty now, and he can tie it. 2:34 to go in the third. Gondrzick controlled, 84-83. Knicks ahead of the Nuggets. Gondrzick loses control, and the Knicks will pay the price. 85-84. Nuggets with a 1-point lead on the Knick turnover, and they've turned it over now 25 times. Ray Williams.
Basket by Ray Williams.
Here's Anthony Roberts bringing the ball down, making sure on this one, boy. He put it through there. No two ways about that one.
Nuggets down by 1 point. 1:50 to go in the third quarter. Calvin had a block by Phil Jackson. It's Williams and Beard. It's 4-on-1 now. McAdoo to the basket.
McAdoo.
It's a 3-point Knick lead. 1:38 to go.
That's a picture-perfect fast break. Now watch Phil Jackson hardly even jump to block that shot by Matt Calvin. A bad shot. Here's Ray Williams, bring it down. He sees McAdoo on the side, comes in for the dunk. Beautiful fast break by the Knicks. They're really playing together now.
Stolen by Gondrzick. Beard. Gondrzick battling. It'll go now to the Nuggets with 1:22 to go in the third. 88-85 Knicks.
Welcome back to Cleveland. This is Jim Carmeles with Mendy Rudolph. This game is really Warming up now, the Cavaliers by 174-73. 9:40 to play in the game. McMillan. Here comes Frazier. Jones to Walt Frazier. Good defense, good position that time. McMillan made him take a very tough shot. And the follow is good by Elmore Smith.
Elmore Smith timed that rebound beautifully. Steve Hawes did not block him out. He was alone completely into the basket. And while we were away, Atlanta came back and seesawed with the lead on Charlie Chris's abilities. And in talking to Hubie Brown before the ball game, that's where Charlie Chris shines in the fourth quarter. He will take over the offense.
Harmon Hill, a fine move. Makes it 76-75. The Cavaliers by a point with 8:57 to play in this ball game. Traveling, can't be wrestled, dragged to center court. We started this fourth period with Jones making a foul shot to give Cleveland a lead. Then Charlie Chris hit the jumper to give Atlanta a lead. Footsy Walker back to give Cleveland a lead. Charlie Chris again a long jumper to give Atlanta the lead. Then Elmore Smith knocked in a hoop to give Cleveland the lead. Then Ollie Johnson back the other way. Then Frazier gave them the lead that they finally enjoy right now. What a shot. Ollie Johnson. And the Hawks lead by one again.
And we have had lead changes of about 6 or 7 in the last minute and a half.
Well, this could turn out to be a barn burner before it's over. The first half was a little slow, but they're playing now. Can't be Russell. You know he wants to put it up. Can't be Russell. And the Cavaliers have taken the lead at 78-77.
How sweet it is when you have the soft touch and you get the good roll.
13 for Campy Russell with 8:12 to play in the game. And the Cavs by one. Ollie Johnson outside to Mr. Chris and out of McMillan. Charlie Chris. He's hit 2 jumpers in the fourth period. He has 8 points. Charlie in the lane with the big boys. Charlie Chris, 79-78. And Charlie's come out of nowhere. He's got 10 points, 6 in this fourth period. The Hawks by 1. Charlie Chris battling Footsy Walker now. Walt Frazier. Clyde misses. Elmore Smith, another rebound. A whistle blows. And there's going to be a foul against Elmore Smith. He threw the elbow, according to Tommy Nunez.
Bill Fitch standing up, questioning the call, but it was there. That's been going on quite a bit underneath with Elmore Smith just jumping out.
All right, here come the Hawks. Armand Hill. Rebound belongs to Jimmy Jones. Austin Carr now in the game, number 34 for Cleveland. The Cavaliers trail by 1. Elmore Smith with paws on him. He wants to take him right to the hoop. What a rebound by Jimmy Jones. The next rebound tipped down from Hawes to Charlie Chris. Charlie Chris. And a foul is going to be called, I believe, against Tom McMillan. McMillan battling with Jones for that rebound, and McMillan has drawn the foul. His third, the team's third.
Let's pick up the foul as Charlie Chris goes up for the hoop. Tom McMillan comes into your picture. Good call, loose ball foul. A little too aggressive. We'll have a timeout with 6:51 to play, and we've got a completely different ball game, Jimmy. You would never believe that this is the same game in the second half that we're seeing right now that we saw in the first half. The two teams are going nose to nose with lead changes. A great ball game.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Tomorrow we go back to civilization.
Let's have a last night in the wilderness party.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I've got just what we need.
So tonight.
Hello, Brown. You've been hiding that all week? I was waiting for the right moment.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well, like the song says, here's to good friends.
Let it be Lowenbrow.
This is the world's most revolutionary telephone switching invention. We call it Super Switcher. It handles 4 times more calls and may save us $1 billion a year. Just imagine that each of these cars is a long-distance call. Super Switcher could handle 5 days' traffic on a busy LA freeway. That ought to prevent traffic jams on your long-distance calls.
Bell System Technology, keeping your phone system the best in the world.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
Chevy's all-new Malibu has all kinds of good news for here and now. Good news about fuel economy. 29 miles per gallon here on the highway, 21 here in the city. It's here and now. There's also good news about room here on the inside, here in the trunk. It's here and now. The all-new Malibu. It's here at your Chevy dealers now.
Following the game, CBS Sports presents live the Grand Slam of tennis. That's Following the Game.
Andy, the Atlanta Hawks lead by 79-78. You were talking before we went away about how it's been a different game, especially for these Hawks. The Hawks only scored 38 points in the entire first half. Already in the second half, with almost 7 minutes remaining, they have scored 41 points. So this
John
is a
Drew
scrappy club.
John Drew has given an all-star performance. And talking about all-star performances, on February 5th, we'll do the all-star game on the East Coast. Billy Cunningham will coach the forwards. Julius Irving, the top vote-getter. Larry Keenan, Dave Cowens of Boston, Pete Maravich, and George Gervin. And on the West, coached by Ramsey, will be Rick Barry, Maurice Lucas, Bill Walton, David Thompson, and Paul Westphal of the Phoenix Suns, having a great year. That should be a super contest.
It really should be. And it's inside now to Jones. And he scored it. He's fouled. Foul against McMillan. Now Jones is playing the middle now because Elmore Smith went out.
Jones gets great position on this play. He gets the pass really deep, overplayed by Steve Hawes, and goes to the hoop. Very, very simple.
McMillan came out with a rebound. So Hawes gambled that time, trying to get around in front and steal the ball, and he paid the price. It's now 80-79, Cavaliers by 1. Johnny Drew. Is he still? 81-80. Johnny Drew gives the Hawks a lead again by 1. He's got 29 of the 81 points. It's great that game's being played in Atlanta because that franchise has really come alive. They've drawn more people already than they drew all of last year, and Ted Turner's done a fine job. The fans down there are getting with NBA basketball. There's a block by Hawes. Campy Russell was fouled, though. Campy's going to go to the line and give the Cavaliers a chance to get a couple, and we're in the penalty situation already. That'd be 3 to make 2 for Campy Russell.
That's going to have a definite effect on the ball game as we get down in the closing minutes. Atlanta is there already. So every time Cleveland gets fouled, they're going to go to the free throw line. We have had 8 lead changes so far. Cleveland has led 8 times. Atlanta has led 8 times. That's a total of 16 the way I count it. The score has been tied 3 times. And we now have a possibility of another lead change.
We have the tie now at 81, trying to untie it. Still 81. Now they're going to get the penalty shot. Cavaliers trying to go 500. They're 20-21. They're only 4.5 games out of first place behind a hot San Antonio club, Benny. So they're really in it, even though they're just shy of 500 right now. There's a lead. Campy Russell gave them the lead at 82-81. 6 minutes to play in the game. Charlie Crisp over to Hawes. Out to the man they want, Johnny Drew, and now an infraction, I believe a 3-second violation. No, a blocking foul away from the ball, I believe, on McMillan. Yes, on Tom McMillan, blocking in the lane. His 5th foul. He leaves the game, and John Brown is replacing him. So the Cavaliers with a 1-point lead and the basketball. 5:52 to play in the game. A slow start this afternoon, but it's really mellowed into quite a basketball game.
The hole there, the hole.
Campy Russell and Drew's playing him. And the rebound is John Brown underneath. And now the Hawks' chance to regain the lead. Bill to Brown. They're looking for Johnny Drew. Jones is playing Drew. This time it's Hawes up the lane. Great move by Hawes. He beat Brewer inside. And the Hawks lead 83-82, Mendy.
And the Hawks have done it with a pressing defense, as you see right now against Walt Frazier, and going to the hoop, as we saw last time with Steve Hawes just driving up.
Walt Frazier. Brewer got the rebound. To Frazier with Armin Hill. Jones over Hawes. Good. He's fouled. Count the basket. The Cavaliers have taken an 84-83 lead.
Steve Hawes did everything right that time. He was up on top of Jim Jones, just as close as he could possibly play him. Frazier gets the pass over to him, and he'll catch him on the arm as he goes up right on the elbow, and Jimmy Jones with a very, very difficult shot.
Jim Jones now gets a penalty try. 84-83, the Cavaliers by a point. We have 4:57 to play in this game. NBA basketball on CBS. Hope you're enjoying it. The Hawks with the ball again after the 2 missed foul shots by Jones. Again with a chance to regain the lead. Pause. Great pass to Drew, and Johnny Drew has given the Hawks the lead again, 85-84, 31 for Johnny Drew.
I don't know how long Bill Fitch is going to keep Elmore Smith on the... There he comes. I figured he'd bring him in just as soon as they went ahead. Bill Fitch doesn't like what's happening. He sees a trend, and Elmore Smith will replace somebody immediately on a dead ball.
Campy Russell inside to Jimmy Jones. Brewer got a tough rebound again. Big rebound. Jimmy Jones bounce inside to Campy Russell. And a good rebound by Hawes. To Charlie Crisp, running 2-on-2. Watch the little guy. Drew. Rebound Austin Carr. 4 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the game. The Cavaliers trail the Hawks by 1. Down goes Charlie Crisp. No call, no harm, no foul. Coming inside Austin Carr. To Brewer. Still in the air. Now a foul is going to be called against Atlanta. With 3:55 to play in the game. Foul is on Brown. Deadly situation. Jimmy Brown does not agree.
And here's that penalty situation coming into effect, which took place at the 6:05 mark. So far, Cleveland has not taken advantage of it because they've missed their free throws. But it will hurt Atlanta as we get down into the closing seconds of this ball game. Here's that last foul.
Welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Cleveland. The Cavaliers trail the Hawks 85-84. Cavaliers at the foul line out in the gold uniforms, the Hawks in red. Trying to tie the game is Campy Russell. We have 3:55 remaining. And this game is tied. 85-85. 3:52 to play. Jim Carvelis, Mendy Rudolph, Richfield, Ohio. Tree Rollins inside Johnny Drew. Good fake, Johnny Drew. Elmore Smith with the rebound. Walt Frazier. Frazier loves this time of a ball game. Driving shot, Campy Russell. Campy Russell. The Cavs by 2, 87-85, 18 for Campy. There's little Charlie Crisp. Cavaliers trailed at halftime by 7. They tied it after the third period, and it's been back and forth in this fourth period. Armin Hill had it blocked by Elmore Smith. Here comes Clyde Frazier with 3:13, and the Cavs by 2. Austin Carr. Pause, a tough rebound. Cavaliers lead the Hawks 87-85, 3 minutes to go in the game, and a great driving shot by Armin Hill. And the game is tied. Come on now, 87-87. Frazier is fouled. With 2:40 to play, Armin Hill decided to go the length of the court anyway, and we have a timeout here, and when we come back again, Walt Frazier's going to have a chance to give the Cavaliers a lead with 2:40 to play in the game.
This signal is searching for a General Electric VIR color TV. The signal's VIR. It lets broadcasters automatically control the color of your TV picture on many programs. Watch this GE VIR set use the signal and automatically adjust flesh tones, background colors, the entire color picture. VIR. And General Electric has just won an Emmy for being the first to use VIR in television sets. This is GE Performance Television.
Guilty.
Not guilty. 6 votes guilty, 6 votes not guilty.
Golly, Jim.
This could go on all day. Bailiff! Pass out the right guard deodorant.
Good.
We got stick or spray. Right guard deodorant has all-day odor protection. Kills bacteria that can cause odor. Stick or spray protects all day. 6 took stick, 6 took spray. It's unanimous.
Right Guard deodorant. Don't get dressed without it.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like you to try something.
Okay.
Hold out your hand.
Hey, what is that?
That's Track 2 shave cream, and that's another brand. Feel any difference?
The Track 2 feels heavier.
That's because the Track 2 is heavier. It's packed with moisturizers.
Moisturizers?
They help hold the moisture in your skin so your face feels good after you shave.
After I
It'll
shave?
feel soft and moisturized.
Great. Wait, what do I do now?
Shave.
Track 2, heavy with moisturizers.
Next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents the second annual Hollywood Stunt Competition, with 8 of Hollywood's finest stuntmen competing. That's next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
The pressure's on here in Cleveland, 87-87, 2:40 to play in the game, and Walt Frazier at the foul line. And Bill Fitch couldn't have a better guy at the foul line because Frazier has hit his last 15 foul shots. And I hope we don't jinx him. The line of fans probably said, I'm glad you said that.
It's just going to be a 2-shot foul, not 3 for 2, just 2 shots. Let's see what happens. Walt Frazier is a great free throw shooter under pressure.
16 in a row. And the Cavaliers lead 88-87. 2:40 to play. If Mendy were down there now, he'd be saying, play this one.
Crush.
2 big foul shots from Walt Frazier, who's as good as at that as anyone in the game. Under pressure. The Cavs by 2. The fans here in Richfield yelling, defense, defense. All right, with the ball. Chris Rollins. Pause, number 10. Armin Hill. Look for Drew. He walked. Armin Hill dragged the pivot foot. Big turnover with 2:27 to play in the ball game.
Team foul situations are critical right now. Cleveland has no team fouls at all. They can afford to gamble on defense when Atlanta picks up the ball again, whereas, of course, Atlanta is in the penalty situation.
2 quick little guards battling here as Chris and Footsy Walker. Here's Campy Russell. Wait a ton. It weighed a ton, 91-87. A 4-point Cleveland lead. Campy now has 20 points. Johnny Drew has 31 to lead all scorers. Charlie Chris trying to get a pick. He does from Hawes. He gives it back to Hawes. Give and go. Big shot by Steve Hawes.
Boy, they played tremendous defense that time. Steve Hawes had to pull up, take a very, very difficult dunk shot, and make it.
91-89. The Cavaliers by 2, and with the basketball, Footsy Walker. Incredible second half here. 91-89. The Hawks trailing by 2, trying to get the ball back again. Walt Frazier lays it off. Open Jones. Rebound. Elmore Smith, a big rebound. Footsy Walker. Now he'll slow it up and start it up again. 18 seconds of the 24-second clock. Up to 24 to play in the game. The Hawks trail by 2. The Cavaliers with Footsy Walker. Frazier, 20-footer. Elmore Smith kept it alive. Steve Hawes, big rebound. Johnny Drew. Cross court. Charlie Chris. Nothing. Charlie Chris tried to force it up over Jimmy Jones. And now with a minute to play in the game, Cleveland goes to Footsy. Footsy puts it up. And the rebound belongs to Johnny Drew. And a timeout's going to be called by Hubie Brown.
We just saw 2 very, very difficult shots. 2 very bad shots by Charlie Chris, who forced his way under the hoop on the baseline on the Atlanta side. They came down here, and Footsy Walker did the same thing, turned it over on a bad shot. Atlanta has the ball now with a chance to tie.
Next Sunday, CBS Sports presents NBA regional action with Los Angeles taking on Washington, Philadelphia going against Denver, Cleveland tangling with Detroit, and Houston at Portland. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's NBA regional action next Sunday.
Cavaliers by 2. We have 54 seconds to play in the game, and Atlanta will have the basketball after this timeout. What a great matchup here today. And speaking of great matchups, Mendy, Bjorn Borg and Jimmy Connors right after this game live from Boca Raton. Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert are standing by there, and that should really be exciting.
I tried to pin you down before. Who you like?
I like Borg in this one.
I like Connors.
All right.
You got yourself a cup of coffee. There's our producer, Tom O'Neill, doing a great job back there. Thank you, Tommy. Peter Bleckner, our director, with the great shots and the great pictures. Gail Bledsoe, Harold Schutzman, A.J. Galino, we all thank you. Jimmy and I do very, very much.
All right, we'll go for that coffee at the airport, Mendy, but there's only one thing I've got to add to that. I'm driving to the airport because I heard about you driving yesterday.
Medina, I'll never forget it. Okay, what are we going to see here, Jimmy? Charlie Chris is going to handle the ball undoubtedly. I would suspect they get into John Drew. He's had the hot hand. He's had 31 points so far. I would suspect they get into John Drew down low in the post. If Charlie Chris can't drive the lane, if they cut him off, I look for a little pass off with a little jump shot. And hopefully they can tie the game.
Well, there's only one man they really should go to, and I think you've got the man, Johnny Drew. Now, the last time I thought they were going to him at Armand Hill Travel. They've got to get the ball to Johnny Drew. That's what, he's their guy. I mean, he is their man. This is... All right, Atlanta now, looking for the tie, the clock. You see it there, 45 seconds. Tree Rollins with Elmore Smith. They're trying to get it inside to Drew. There he is. There's his shot. Elmore Smith, the game's biggest rebound. 34 seconds. The Cavs by 2. And they're going crazy here in Richfield. Footsy Walker. Charlie Chris watching him very closely. He'll be going for a steal any moment now. Frazier. 6 seconds to shoot the ball, 18 to play. Clyde gets it off. They're going to have to get the shot away. Atlanta, Frazier got a big rebound. 8 seconds. They're on their feet in Richfield. They have to foul. They do with 5 seconds. It was Elmore Smith off the defensive board. Walt Frazier off the offensive board with 5 seconds to go. Cleveland leads by 2.
How that ball bounces. There you see the clock with 6 seconds. They had to foul at that point. But on the shot that Cleveland took, the ball was up for grabs. Anybody could have grabbed it. It bounced off Walt Frazier's leg. He was there to pick up the rebound. Undoubtedly, the two most important rebounds of the game was Elmore Smith off the defensive boards and Walt Frazier, luckily, finding the ball on the missed shot.
Footsy Walker, big foul shots. Cavaliers now have a 4-point lead with 5 seconds. Hubie Brown wants to talk it over. Not much chance here. If that tennis match is anything like this basketball game, Mendy, we're in for a winner today. All right, we're going to come up with our Chevrolet player of the game. And actually, 2 people were in the forefront almost right from the start. Elmore Smith and, of course, Johnny Drew.
I've got to go with Elmore Smith with 22 rebounds, which is his season high. He really controlled the boards, intimidated Atlanta early in the
Hill Travel. They've got to get the ball to Johnny Drew. That's why, he's their guy. I mean, he is their man. This is... All right, Atlanta now looking for the tie, the clock. You see it there, 45 seconds. Tree Rollins with Elmore Smith. They're trying to get it inside to Drew. There he is. There's his shot. Elmore Smith, the game's biggest rebound. 34 seconds. The Cavs by 2, and they're going crazy here in Richfield. Footsie Walker, Charlie Chris watching him very closely. He'll be going for a steal any moment now. Frazier, 6 seconds to shoot the ball, 18 to play. Clyde gets it off. They're going to have to get the shot away. Atlanta, Frazier got a big rebound. 8 seconds. They're on their feet in Richfield. They have to foul. They do with 5 seconds. It was Elmore Smith off the defensive board. Walt Frazier off the offensive board with 5 seconds to go. Cleveland leads by 2.
How that ball bounces. There you see the clock with 6 seconds. They had to foul at that point. But on the shot that Cleveland took, the ball was up for grabs. Anybody could have grabbed it. It bounced off Walt Frazier's leg. He was there to pick up the rebound. Undoubtedly, the 2 most important rebounds of the game was Elmore Smith off the defensive boards and Walt Frazier, luckily, finding the ball on the missed shot.
Footsie Walker, big foul shots. Cavaliers now have a 4-point lead with 5 seconds. Hubie Brown wants to talk it over. Not much chance here. If that tennis match is anything like this basketball game, Mendy, we're in for a winner today. All right, we're going to come up with our Chevrolet player of the game. And actually, 2 people were in the forefront almost right from the start. Elmore Smith and, of course, Johnny Drew.
I've got to go with Elmore Smith with 22 rebounds, which is his season high. He really controlled the boards, intimidated Atlanta early in the ball game, and set the pattern, I think, for the win for the Cavaliers. I vote for Elmore Smith, Jimmy.
And I've got to agree with you. The Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award goes to Elmore Smith. And the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship will be travel. They've got to get the ball to Johnny Drew. That's why, you know, he's their guy. I mean, he is their man. This is... All right, Atlanta now looking for the tie. The clock. You see it there, 45 seconds. Tree Rollins with Elmore Smith. They're trying to get it inside to Drew. There he is. There's his shot. Elmore Smith, the game's biggest rebound. 34 seconds. The Cavs by 2, and they're going crazy here in Richfield. Footsie Walker, Charlie Chris watching him very closely. He'll be going for a steal any moment now. Frazier, 6 seconds to shoot the ball, 18 to play. Clyde gets it off. They're going to have to get the shot away. Atlanta, Frazier got a big rebound. 8 seconds. They're on their feet in Richfield. They have to foul. They do with 5 seconds. It was Elmore Smith off the defensive board. Walt Frazier off the offensive board with 5 seconds to go. Cleveland leads by 2.
How that ball bounces. There you see the clock with 6 seconds. They had to foul at that point. But on the shot that Cleveland took, the ball was up for grabs. Anybody could have grabbed it. It bounced off Walt Frazier's leg. He was there to pick up the rebound. Undoubtedly, the 2 most important rebounds of the game was Elmore Smith off the defensive boards and Walt Frazier, luckily, finding the ball on the missed shot.
Footsie Walker, big foul shots. Cavaliers now have a 4-point lead with 5 seconds. Hubie Brown wants to talk it over. Not much chance here. If that tennis match is anything like this basketball game, Mendy, we're in for a winner today. All right, we're going to come up with our Chevrolet player of the game. And actually, 2 people were in the forefront almost right from the start. Elmore Smith, and of course
John Drew from
Johnny
Atlanta.
Drew.
I've got to go with Elmore Smith with 22 rebounds, which is his season high. He really controlled the boards, intimidated Atlanta early in the ball game, and set the pattern, I think, for the win for the Cavaliers. I vote for Elmore Smith, Jimmy.
And I've got to agree with you. The Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award goes to Elmore Smith. And the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship will be awarded to Kentucky State on behalf of Elmore Smith. And I know he's got a lot of fans watching the game in the Georgia area. He's a native of Macon, Georgia, and they'll have to forgive him for beating the Atlanta Hawks here this afternoon. Great ball game. Well, Mendy, what happens here?
Well, what they can hope for now is just to pick up a quick rebound on the missed shot. If they convert the 2 free throws, get a field goal up just as quickly as possible, press the ball on the inbounds when the Cavaliers do inbound it. But there's not a heck of a lot that can happen in 5 seconds, although I've seen it.
Yes.
With a 4-point lead. A mistake by the Cavaliers is what the Atlanta Hawks can only hope for at this point.
Well, what Cleveland cannot do at this point is foul, because a foul will stop the clock. Atlanta's got to come in here, get a hoop right away, and hope they're going to steal the inbound pass. That's the only way that they're going to have a chance here. 5 seconds to play, and the Cavaliers lead the Hawks 93-89. The Cavs led at halftime by 7. Things really warmed up. The game was tied after 3, and it's been back and forth in an exciting fourth quarter here in Ridgefield. Armin Hill will inbounds the ball. Let's see who they go to. He's got 5 seconds to get rid of it. Hawes, he better put it up. He does from 35 feet air ball. And with 1 second to play, and now there's the horn. And this exciting game is over. And the Cavaliers are now a 500 basketball team at 21 wins and 20 losses. They trail San Antonio by only 4 games now in the NBA Central. And this fine crowd in Ridgefield, Ohio, saw a tremendous game this afternoon. The Cleveland Cavaliers made the shots they had to make down the line. And Elmore Smith played his game of the year. He was the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player in the ball game. But even more to the point, as far as Mr. Fitch and the Cleveland fans were concerned, he was their most valuable player. He helped them win the game. Elmore did the job underneath, got the rebounds, intimidated Atlanta. And late in the game, when Atlanta had a chance to tie this game with less than a minute to go, it was Elmore Smith that got the big defensive rebound. Then he released it to Walt Frazier, a missed shot by Jimmy Jones from the right side. It was Walt Frazier off the offensive board that pulled down the rebound. Finally, a foul had to be called. They fouled Footsie Walker. He made the 2 foul shots to give the Cavaliers the 4-point lead. So now as we look at the standings, in the NBA Central Division, San Antonio still on top over Washington by a game. And Cleveland now, they've gone to the 500 mark, 21 wins, 21 defeats. They're 4 games behind San Antonio. Atlanta, as a result of this afternoon's loss, 21 wins and 26 defeats. They now drop behind the New Orleans ball club, the Jazz, at 20 and 24, now moved up into 4th place. But Atlanta need not be disappointed. Their effort was a great effort here this afternoon, and considering the fact that they played 5 games in 6 days, so they'll go back and have a little bit of a rest. And of course, they'll be getting ready for that big All-Star game that you'll see right here on CBS on February the 5th, and that should be something from Atlanta, Georgia. And we've heard so much about Southern hospitality. We expect it in abundance there that weekend as the NBA is being spotlighted, the NBA All-Star game. As we look at some of the individual statistics for the ball game, Johnny Drew, an outstanding player here today, 31 points. Only 2 other Atlanta players were in double figures. Steve Hawes had 14, and Tommy McMillan had 10. Check it, 3 other players. Charlie Chris also had 10 points. So rounding out the rest of the scoring for you for the Atlanta Hawks, Brown had 4 points, John Brown. Eddie Johnson, an outstanding-looking rookie from Auburn, a very quick guard who last night made his first NBA start in a winning effort against the Indiana Pacers. Eddie had 8 points, didn't play down the stretch here. Armin Hill had 8 points. He started this afternoon. Tree Rollins did not score. Ollie Johnson had 4 points, and Terry did not score. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers had a very balanced scoring attack here this afternoon. Campy Russell had 20 points, and Campy scored 9 at the half, and then he scored the big points, 9 big points in the fourth quarter. Jim Jones had 17. Elmore Smith, the most valuable player, had 16. Footsie Walker had 8, 2 big foul shots at the end. 11 for Dick Snyder, who started over Walt Frazier. Austin Carr had 7. Bingo Smith had 4. Frazier had 10. Frazier gave him the maturity down the stretch, the maturity they needed to win the basketball game. So it was a terrific game today. And Mendy Rudolph is down on the floor with an interview and a comment. And Mendy, let's go down to you.
Okay, Jimmy, thank you very much. We're waiting for Elmore Smith to come out of the locker room. Played a super basketball game. In fact, he was our most valuable player, as you all know. Now, in this particular ball game, we saw 2 completely different halves. The first half was rather lackadaisical. Atlanta really being taken out of their patterns. Cleveland really not shooting that well, nor getting into their patterns that well. But in the second half, the tempo picked up. Charlie Chris come on the court. He penetrated. He had some beautiful shots early in the fourth quarter that had the lead seesaw back and forth about 7 or 8 times. All during the game, though, Elmore Smith was the dominating force for the Cleveland Cavaliers when he took both ends of the boards under control. He dominated the offensive board as well as the defensive board. And Jimmy, you and I both gave him the most valuable player award for today.
Mendy.
Yes, sir, Jim.
If you can hear me, we got some final statistics on Elmore Smith. He had 16 points, which we gave before. 22 rebounds, that is a season high. He had 5 block shots, also a season high. So Elmore Smith made the experiment work out, Mendy. You'll remember just 2 games ago, Coach Fitch decided that he was going to go a different way. His club wasn't playing well enough. He took Brewer out and he put him on the bench, and he brought Jimmy Jones, his usual center, out to the forward spot, put Elmore Smith into the ball game. Jimmy Jones, the man that you're going to be talking to down there, is the man that used to be the center, and he did a great job as a power forward, Mendy.
Okay, we told you Elmore Smith was going to be here, but Jimmy Jones is here. And, Jimmy, I've got to say one thing. Elmore Smith played a super game at your old position, center.
Yes, Elmore, he could have did that all year, but I guess I beat him out the blocks this time in training camp, and I was playing well all season, but we still weren't winning, So we said we needed more production out of the big forwards, so they moved me there. And
let me ask you something about Elmore Smith. When he was sitting on the bench and he was seated there as your replacement, was there any exchange of opinions between the both of you?
Yeah, he'd always try to help me, And he always wanted, both of us to be out there, and used to say, like, maybe one day me and you get to play together. So we got to playing so bad, it looks, it just became inevitable.
Well, when you scrimmage against each other, Elmore plays you, how does that work?
We get pretty competitive. My thing is quickness and getting up and down the floor and shooting jumpers, and his thing is getting inside and muscling me. So we usually even up pretty good, but it's just a matter of what kind of center did we think we needed for this team.
You figure it's Elmore Smith to take off the offensive rebound and the defensive rebound.
That now because, we were losing, like I was playing well and we were still losing, so maybe we needed something more.
Let me talk about Jim Jones. Now you're playing the power forward. Any adjustments you had to make to do that?
Yeah, just keep hitting them little guys in the head.
In the head? Hold it now. Those referees are going to pick you up on that.
No. Well, the thing about playing that spot is that you have to be active if you're a big guy. Because if you're not, then you get complacent and they zone off on you, and it makes it a little harder to be productive.
Well, how often have you played the power forward spot?
I played it off and on, maybe for 5 or 6 minutes here and there, but I don't mind. I take the same shots I do on offense. It's just defensively, I try to turn them so Elmore can block the shot or else try to make it rough for him.
Let me have some inside stuff now. Walt Frazier didn't start the ball game. I was told that he missed a practice the other day. Let me hear some comments on it.
Yeah, that was the reason why, because we had some real bad weather. And Walt hasn't driven in snow in 10 years. So he was a little cautious about getting out.
I heard the old story that Dick Motta used to say, and he said to one of his players at one point who missed a practice, he said, my car wouldn't start. And he said to his player, superstars have 2 cars.
Yeah, well, Walt's, he's not been that fortunate. He's been driving something that I don't even want to mention. But it's not his Rolls Royce, and I'm sure he wouldn't take the chance in driving it out here to the Coliseum.
Bad weather out here, right, Jimmy? Okay, what do you look forward to? You're at 500 now.
Well, I don't know what happened to us. We lost some games we should have won. We went on the road. We haven't won on the road in a while, and I think the biggest difference is consistency from our back line. We got to get more consistent. Walt and Foots and Austin are doing a heck of a job in the backcourt. I think we can get some consistency in the last 3 or 4 minutes from us big guys, and that'll make a difference. And we're not in that bad a shape because we're only 4.5 out.
I noticed during the late stages of the game, Jim, there were some 4 shots by Campy Russell. Is that part of the game plan?
No, not really, and it's something Camp has gotten a lot better in, you know, is that he's got to learn to take better shots, and he's been doing that. And when he finally gets it all under control, he's going to see one hell of a ball player.
Now let's talk about the Atlanta club. I noticed that when John Drew picked up the ball on the last play of the game, it was a double team, almost a triple team. What did you discuss in the huddle with Coach Fitch prior to that play?
Well, I figured that they would go to John, and I figured I was the only guy that could help, because Halls was out on the floor, and that's not to his advantage. So I figured maybe I could come over and give Campy some help.
And you did just that, and the rebound was picked up, and away you went.
Right, and, you know, once John gets that ball, you know, he's a 55% shooter from the field. You know, it's good for him to take the shot. So.
Thanks very much, Jim, for coming out and spending some time with us, and the best of luck to you on the way, all the way, possibly to the playoffs.
Thank you, man.
And back to Jim up top in the booth.
Well, thank you, Mendy, and thanks to Jim Jones. Jim will be happy to know that they picked up a half a game. They're now only 4 games behind the San Antonio Ball Club. Jimmy Jones was not a bad replacement to talk to either, Mendy. Jimmy had a great ball game. He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 block shot. And again, as he indicated, he had to make an adjustment playing that power forward. So a big win for these Cleveland Cavaliers here this afternoon in Richfield, Ohio, because they are now a 500 ball club, and they needed this game to just continue on their way. They had beaten a good Philadelphia 76er ball club on Thursday, and they had to continue it here. They now will go to play the Indiana Pacers on Tuesday. And by the way, that'll be the first time this year that they'll be playing the Pacers of Bob Leonard. So it was a big win for Bill Fitch and his ball club. But again, Atlanta, nothing to be ashamed of. They are a very scrappy club, and they will be heard of before this thing is over. All right, tennis will be next, of course, and Bjorn Borg will be taking on Jimmy Connors in Boca Raton. This is Jim Carvelis for Mendy Rudolph saying goodbye from the Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio. Coming up next, the finals of the Grand Slam of tennis. In the final, it will be Jimmy Connors against Bjorn Borg in what promises to be another tennis classic. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
Taking advantage of the Arab oil embargo to line their own pockets? 60 Minutes says, you were right. Be watching tomorrow on CBS.